little rather than fall and bruise to death. Alas, this man whom I would save had a most noble father. Let not your honor know that this man that I would save, and in your particular case, that you should, in the process of your own affections, should, in pursuit of your own affections, had time cohered with space, or space with place, or that in the resolute acting of your own interests, that you could attain the purpose. But you had erred in this point sometime in your life, that you now censure him and brought the law upon you. John Fennessy.
Oh, okay. Of comfort, no man speak. Let's talk of graves, worms, and epitaphs. Make dust our paper, and with rainy eyes write sorrow on the bosom of the earth. Let's choose executors and talk of wills, and yet not so. For what are we to bequeath them of supposed bodies to the earth? Our land, our lives, and all our Bolingbrookes? And nothing can we call our own, save death, and that small model of the barren earth which serves as paste and cover to our bones. For God's sakes, let us sit upon the ground and tell sad stories of the death of kings. How some were deposed, some slain in war, some haunted by the ghosts they have deposed, some poisoned by their wives, some sleeping killed, all murdered. For within the hollow crown that rounds the mortal temples of the king keeps death his court. And there the antic sits, scoffing his state, grinning as it pomp, allowing him a little breath, a little scene to monarchize, be feared, and kill with looks. And comes at the last, and with a little pin, bores through his castle wall. And farewell, king. Cover your heads, mock not flesh and blood with solemn reverence. Throw away respect, form, tradition, ceremonious duty, for you have but mistook me all this while. I live with bread like you, feel want, taste grief, need friends. Subjected thus, how can you say to me, I am a king?
Thank you, Fenn. Thank you.
Oh, you know, I was so shocked to go into it that I didn't pick somebody.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Yeah, sorry. So, I don't know, Johnny?
Shawnee,
Yeah, Johnny.
take the last line again and give it off to a Shawnee.
Okay. Subjected thus, how can you say to me, I am a king?
You said that you have kissed the ground I walked on. You should kill me rather.
Excuse me, Shawnee. The direction is to
Sorry.
name the actor first, okay?
Fern, sorry.
Yeah, because they're more important than your speech, if
Yeah.
that's not to be
Shani, we
demeaning.
cannot see you. Sorry to interrupt. We can't see you, Shani.
Oh,
I can see her.
Okay,
I
here we
think
go.
I think you joined twice.
Here we go.
John, could you give me that last line?
No, you pick it up right away, Shawnee.
Sorry.
Here we go.
Fern, why have you said that you have kissed the ground I walked on? You should kill me rather. I'm so tired. If only I could rest. Rest. I'm a seagull. No. Oh, I'm an actress. He's there too. He does not believe in the theater. He used to laugh at my dreams, so that little by little I ceased to believe in them too. Then came all the cares of love, the continual anxiety of my little one, so that I soon grew spiritless and trivial and played my parts without meaning. I never knew what to do with my hands. I couldn't move properly or control my voice. You cannot imagine the state of mind of one who knows, as he goes through a play, how terribly badly he's acting. I'm a seagull. Oh, no, that is not what I meant to say. Do you remember how you shot a seagull once? A man chanced to pass that way and destroyed it out of idleness.
Thank you, Ashani. Thank you.
Kendra, you're not fat. I mean, you're almost fat, but you're not fat. You want to play a game of cards? These cards are real crappy anyway. I left them near the humidifier one night and they got all soggy. I got the humidifier because my mother's drying out. You know, she never leaves. She can't. I got so much heat in that fucking apartment. I looked at her one day. She looked like a dead fucking plant. So I went out and I got a humidifier and I run it every night. She still looks like freeze-dried shit, but I feel better because I did something, you know. I didn't just take it. I didn't just fucking accept it. I believe in action. Anyway, between the humidity and my sloppy ways, these cards are real crappy. Some of these Sister Rositas, you know, these witch tellers, they say they can see a future in a pack of cards. I look at these cards, I don't see anything about my future. I just see my fucking life. I'm gonna go insane.
Marlene, you want to be my friend? You know, things have got to where I gotta make a change, and you're different. All I had was Monday. I just marked time till Monday, and I ain't got Monday no more, so I gotta change. Everything's changing on me and looking different than it did before, and I ain't got Mondays. Like, I'm 32. My mother's gonna be on my case again about my sucky life. I'll be fucking guys under staircases. I gotta make a change, no matter how much it hurts. I don't want to. I'm scared. But I gotta, or else it's goodbye, Linda, for sure. So Marlene, please, you have to help me.
Troy G. Wallace. Thank you so much for seeing me, Doctor. I'm very concerned about my daughter. I don't understand this child. I've been a good parent. I moved to this country to give my family a better life. I came to this country with very little, and I worked very hard to provide for my family. Now, I know the newspapers say that most Dominicans are drug dealers, okay? But this is not true. No, lo siento, eso es mierda, lo siento por Dios, eso no es verdad, eso es un pedazo de mierda, ¿oíste? Mierda. I am a very hard worker. Years ago, my husband passed away. Que se descanse en paz, Dios mío, con Jesucristo en la Virgen María. Ay, Dios mío. And I worked hard to raise 4 children alone. I'm a good mother. I'm proud of all my children. But my daughter Angelita, ay, mi madre. I'm especially proud of her. She's always been a good student. I remember when she was born. She had such long, beautiful blonde hair. De verdad. Así. You want to see a picture? She looked like Queen Isabella, mi madre, Queen Isabella. Want to see a picture? No, not of Queen Isabella. My daughter, Angelita. Okay, mira. Sí. Ay, Dora. Angelita, Bárbara María, Eustaquia Cimarrones.
Gracias, Marlene. Gracias, gracias.
Troy.
Nancy. Be careful what you get good at, whether it be sport or art.
Who'd you call out, Marlene? Which actor?
Oh, Troy. I said Troy.
Yep.
Troy Wallace.
Troy, we can't really hear you. I don't know if you can get closer to your mic.
Please talk in character, Stephanie. Anything we have to say, we stay in character, please. Thank you. Here we go.
Nancy. Be careful what you get good at, whether it be sport or art, for both are controlled by things fragile, namely ego or heart. Ego is a drug whispered from hustler to you. It sweetens promises with sugar, making it hard to distinguish lies from the truth. Heart is not just a muscle beating in your chest. No, it's the tingle that your body feels when it knows what's best. Whisper offers riches. You know, the chance to world that you're a star. But the whisper tells me, in order to do that, you have to lie about who you are. Tingle makes no promises, but I know this is true. That when you do find heart and ego will be intact.
Thank you, Troy. Who's the actor you're talking to?
Nancy.
We could hardly hear you.
Nancy.
Nancy. Can't hear you, Nance. Sorry, can't hear you. I think you're unmute. Can you now I hear you. Now I
Yes,
hear you.
thank you.
Okay.
Sean, to be alive is to be fortunate. When you first awake in the morning, you may not feel so very gay. When you take your hair out of the drawer and your teeth out of the glass, you're quite likely to feel a little out of place in this naughty world, particularly if you've just been dreaming that you're a young girl on a pony looking for strawberries in the woods. But all you need in order to feel the call of life again is a letter in the mail giving you your schedule for the day. You write it to yourself the day before. That's safest. Now, here are my assignments for this morning: to mend my petticoats with red thread, to curl my ostrich feathers, to write to my grandmother, etc., etc. And when I've washed my face with rose water and powdered it, not with that awful stuff that does nothing for the skin, but with a cake of pure white starch. And when I put on my pins, rings, pearls, bracelets, and earrings, in short, when I'm dressed for my coffee and have had a good look at myself, not in the glass it lies, but in the side of the brass gong that once belonged to Admiral Courbet, then Sean, I'm armed, I'm strong, I'm ready to begin again. Sean.
Thank you, Nancy. He's gone already. So let's pick somebody. Let's go to Serge.
Serge.
Great.
Come on. I don't like being around people.
Excuse me, Serge, we can't hear you talk. Who are you talking to?
Michael Bernetti. Michael
sorry?
Bernetti. Michael Bernetti.
Michael Bernetti.
See, I don't like being around people.
Mm.
And that's it. I don't like being around people. They make me uncomfortable. I don't like how they look at me. I don't like how they treat me like I ain't doing shit, like I ain't doing nothing. You want to know what I do? I walk on the mountain. I go off the paths. I find streams. I find places where there ain't nobody else. I ain't causing no problems. What do you want me to do, huh? They say I gotta get a job, but I can't get a job. They say I gotta stay away from people I'm hanging with, but I ain't going nowhere else. Curfews, programs, ankle bracelet. Ain't nobody trying to help me. They're just trying to catch me. And all I'm doing is trying to stay everybody else's way.
Inji. A love of heavenly beauty does not preclude a proper love of earthly pulchritude. Our senses are quite rightly captivated by perfect works our Maker has created. His glories cling to all that heaven has made, and in you all heaven's marvels are displayed. On that fair face, such beauties have been lavished, the eyes are dazzled and the heart is ravished. How can I look on you, O flawless creature, and not adore the author of all nature, feeling a love both passionate and pure for you, his triumph of self-portraiture? It is, I know, presumptuous on my part to give you this poor offering of my heart, and it is not my merit, heaven knows, but your compassion on which my hopes repose.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, lovely.
Dave, my husband bid me, now I will unmask. This is that face, thou cruel Angelo, which once thou sworest was worth the looking on. This is the hand which with a vowed contract was fast belocked in thine. This is the body that took away the match from Isabel and did supply thee at the garden house in her imagined person, Dave.
Michael Lazarus, do not think so. You shall not find it so. And God forgive them that so much have turned your Majesty's good thoughts away from me. I will redeem all this on Percy's head, and in the closing of some glorious day be bold to tell you that I am your son, when I will wear a garment all of blood, and stain my favors in a bloody mask which washed away shall scour my shame with it. And that will be the day whene'er it lights that this same child of honor and renown, this gallant Hotspur, this all-praised knight, and your unthought of Harry chance to meet. For all the honor sitting on his helm, would there were multitudes, and on my head my shame redoubled, for the time will come that I will make this northern youth exchange his glorious deeds for my indignities. Percy is but my factor, good my lord, to engross up glorious deeds on my behalf, and I will hold him to so strict a cut that he will render every glory up. Yeah, even the slightest worship of Islam, or I will tear the reckoning from his heart. This in the name of God I promise here, the which, if he be pleased, I will perform. I do beseech your majesty may solve the long-grown wounds of my intemperance. If not, the end of life cancels all bans, and I would die 100,000 deaths ere break the smallest parcel of this vow, Michael Lazarus.
Hey, Steph? Did the elevator just break? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I have a date in 10 minutes that is quite literally my only shot at a semi-decent future. It's New Year's Eve! That means I've gone from a 5.3 to a 9.8 in the eyes of someone who is just as lonely as I am. He came up to me at the bar the other day wearing the cutest little fedora and this violently ugly tan suit, but he looked wholesome, okay? So I asked him out, and he told me he was busy because he was going to a convention of Asian fusion cuisine at this hotel. So I signed up, and he wasn't even in my breakout group. I had to pretend to be interested in sesame oil for 3 hours, and if I don't get married in the next 3 years, the entire plan that I made for myself is going to be ruined, and now I am stuck here missing my chance to tell this man that tan is not his color and his head is far too round for hats. And Steph, I mean that in a nice, helpful, potentially sexual way.
Vicky, I just want somebody who wants to hang out with me all the time and thinks I'm the best person in the world and wants to have sex only with me. And I feel really, really stupid saying this to you right now because it makes me sound like a girl who wants to go to brunch, and I don't want to go to brunch. I don't want you to meet my friends or sit there while I shop. I don't want that, okay? But I also don't want to share a sex partner with a guy who seems to have asked for a picture of your dick. Oh, and by the way, I don't want to see a picture of your dick because I live really close to you. So if I really wanted to come see it, I could just come over and see it. But I really don't see you changing, and I don't see you hearing me right now. So gonna go. Vicky.
Christopher, I know you don't like to hear this, but I hate God. My daddy would whoop me with a stick if he could hear me say that, but I don't care. Somebody asked me once if I was an atheist. I said, Lord, no, I'm a Methodist. See, all things weren't bad in my life. I married a good man, Robert Martin. Wasn't long after that, he went off to war. He was a POW. One day I was out sweeping on my porch and tending to my flowers, and I looked down the road. I saw this man walking. My heart started beating out of my chest the closer he got. Well, I threw down that broom and I jumped off that porch, and it was Robert. And I didn't even know they let him out. It wasn't long afterward that we had a baby boy. Named him John Wayne Martin. He's a very strong name, and everybody said he was the prettiest baby boy they'd ever seen, just like his daddy, dark hair and blue eyes. He was so popular and so funny, you never knew what was going to come out of his mouth. And then God took him. 14 years old. It wasn't long after that God took Robert too. All my people's dead. And I
Bravo,
ain't never
Vicky.
been happy.
Bravo, Vicky. Thank you.
Homo. I think it well. And from this testimony of your own sex, since I suppose we are made to be no stronger than Schultz faults may shake our frames, let me be bold. I do arrest your words, be that you are, that is, a woman. If you be more, you're none. If you be one, as you are well expressed by all external warrants, show it now by putting on the destined livery. Plainly conceive, Isabel, I love you. Believe me, on mine honor, my words express my purpose. Who will believe thee, Isabel? My unsoiled name, the austereness of my life, my vow against you, and my place in the state will sew up your accusation over way that you shall stifle in your own report and smell of calumny. I've begun. Now I give my sensual race the rein. Bid thy consent to my sharp appetites, lay by all nicety and prolixous blushes that banish what they sue for, redeem thy brother by yielding up thy body up to my will, or else he must not only die to death, but thy unkindness shall draw his death out to lingering sufferance. Answer me tomorrow, or by this affection that now guides me most, I'll prove a tyrant to him. As for you, say what you can. My false overweighs your true.
Roger, I tell you, there are these two guys that used to ranch up back home, Earl and Rich. And they was the joke of the town, even though they were pretty tough old birds. Anyways, they found Earl dead in an irrigation ditch. Took a tire iron to him. Spurred him up, dragged him around by his dick till it pulled off. I wasn't 9 years old. My daddy, he made sure me and my brother seen it. Hell, for all I know, he done the job, Roger.
Bravo. Bravo, everybody. That exercise is always what it is. It's not easy, and it's hard to stay with it the whole time, as we all know. But that's what's often required of us. We'll come back with some notes. I asked the associate directors tonight, instead of using notes out loud now, to use the chat to send some notes as we go on to some of the projects, since we have quite a bit of work, and I want us all to watch each other's work tonight, and really observe and learn from each other as we always do. But maybe tonight it's a good chance to take a mark of where we are before we move forward again. We're going to start with a writer from England whose work I knew personally when I was a little bit younger and directing at the Royal Court Theatre in London in the early 1970s. His name is Howard Barker. He's not well known to many of us in this country, but to one of our guests tonight, a colleague of mine named Richard Romagnoli. Sorry, Richard. Howard Barker is very well known because Richard has helped bring Howard's career to this country and directed quite a number of his plays in recent years. Richard, are you there?
Yeah.
Would you introduce Richard Howard's work just a little bit before David does the scene from Howard Barker's play?
I'll do the best I can.
Yeah.
Thank you. Howard is part of the David Hare generation of playwrights. Today he's about 74, and he was very much a part of the Royal Court contingent of writers that included Howard Brenton, David Hare, and Christopher Hampton, a number of other writers of that generation. And but he wasn't. Those writers were trying to explore political issues, and Howard became very disenchanted. Plays that were dialectical in the most obvious sense, and therefore wasn't very successful as a, quote, a court writer. And after many years, he had much of his work had been done at the Pit in the Barbican. And in fact, one of his early directors and champions actually was a director named Danny Boyle, who's gone on to become a very famous film director. So, and then Howard started his own company with actors like Ian McDiarmid and a number of other actors whose names escape me at this moment, but they're called the Wrestling School. And he was writing for that particular company and achieved a pretty relatively decent amount of success until their funding was cut by the Arts Council, and they no longer exist. However, many of the plays are now done by young writers, young directors, and in fact, he and Edward Bond, talking about young writers, was a very influenced, what's her name? I can't remember her. She wrote Crave and Sarah Kane.
Yeah.
And so anyway, he's alive and his plays are done, particularly on the continent. And I've had an opportunity to do about 10 or 12 of his titles.
With your Potomac Theater Company, I guess mostly, right? And also up at Middlebury.
New York and in DC.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Thank you very much, Richard. And it's hard to believe. To me, Howard is 20 years old. We were all in our 20s at the Royal Court in 1969, 1970. Howard Brenton, David Hare.
Right.
And so now he's in his 70s and still young. I trust, at least. If he's still working, he's still young. Let's turn it over now to David and Shani. Yeah. And the name of the play that Howard wrote is No End of Blame. This is a rehearsal of a scene from it.
Ella?
I'm going, Alona. No more life classes for me. No more trying to get the setting or all joints. Never do them much justice anyway.
Take me.
No. You smell of Budapest. Rank with blood, coffee, fear, and petty fours.
Take me.
That way, France. That way, Russia. That way,
Tolstoy.
that way,
Flaubert.
that way,
Pushkin.
that way,
Baudelaire.
that way,
Mayakovsky.
that way,
Now.
that way.
Lenin. Marry the future. Divorce the past. pack a bag.
No! No. To pack is to say, I have come and I will go back again. We're not going back again.
But I have no stockings, Bella. Russia's cold.
Fuck. Landed it. See.
Bravo. Bravo. Dave?
Yes.
Nice. I thought, nice progression, Ishani, from the last rehearsal. What seemed to you different, and what did you work for quickly from, I guess, Saturday? Any one thing?
Yeah, several things. I think just clarity of what we were doing, because this is such a visual piece. So, for example, we had no idea whether him painting my legs actually came out. So we wanted to clarify those intentions, but also just connecting, deepening the sort of level of my feeling of wanting to protect him.
Right.
We worked on that. We worked on other things,
Good.
Connection, physicality. Those were two big ones.
Right. Nice.
Just getting the physicality right, making sure everything connected. I just said that again. Yes, that was our main idea.
Great. Richard, Sir Richard, English play, we call you Sir Richard. Any feedback for the scene? And I would ask also, if you could, to give them something and a place for them to redo for just a minute to see if they can take it to another level in some way.
Well, I enjoyed it very much. I'm so happy you did it. Dave, Bela Baracek is a cartoonist. He's just been expelled from the Hungarian Art League for drawing seditious cartoons. And he's a very manipulative man. And I think he wants Ilona very much to come with him wherever he goes. But and though clearly he's not sure whether he wants to go to the new Russia, with visions of a future, or in fact old Europe. Although the new art is also happening in Europe. So I would think that Bela in these early scenes is very, very manipulative, and he wants to draw. He wants Ilona to want it, and so he's resisting, and he's in fact testing her in those, which way should we go, Russia or Paris or the West? And so how you make that test risky for her, and I think is important. So,
great, Richard. What's the one thing you would ask David to do this, just to explore? You gave some great notes. Just to do 1 minute of re-rehearsing this right now. What would you like him to work on, and where in the scene? And how about for Ishani, one thing that you'd like her to work on this time?
Johnny, I think you did that, but I think you can explore it further. The sense of the test. And coming up with the right answer, and that's very important. And Dave, I think with Bela, how you administer this test, how you bring pressure to bear on her, and raising the stakes as high as you possibly can.
What part would you like to look at in the scene? Is there anyone, the beginning, the middle, what section?
I think how you play deciding whether to go to Russia, these clues.
Yeah,
he's
that section.
playing out here. That I think is very important.
Okay. Where, Richard, would you like them to start?
I know where he wants us to start.
Give Vashani a cue so she knows where you. I'm glad
the cue is when your cue line is take me. The second take me.
All right, 1 minute of re-rehearsing. Here we go.
Take me.
That way, France. That way, Russia.
Oh, we're coming in.
That way.
Tolstoy.
That way.
Flaubert.
That way.
Pushkin.
That way.
Baudelaire.
That way.
Mayakovsky.
That way.
Apollinaire.
That way.
Lenin. Ah!
Bravo. Bravo. I think we all know how difficult it is to do something in whether it's a monologue or a scene and do it in a very short period of time and make a very big adjustment in an audition when a director gives you an adjustment. Rich, how did that happen for you in terms of what direction you gave?
I think that I intended for David to bring pressure to bear on her, and that it becomes almost like a sexual thing, and
Right.
it builds in intensity as the names become more difficult to retrieve from her imagination and from her knowledge.
Right.
It becomes a greater test, and more pressure is experienced.
Mhm.
But it also it's a way of that she can connect to you and can prove to you that she's worthy of going with you.
Right. So really, so it would have it didn't quite make the adjustment that time.
Yeah, no, I
No.
think I maybe said the wrong. I obviously said the wrong thing, and David took it very successfully in a
Yeah.
very different way. But I would
Right.
take David. I would suggest that you take it in the opposite direction. Okay, and that as these clues, these people's names are mentioned, it becomes more and more intense.
Right.
Richard, thank you. This, I mean, Richard, or any director, Eddie, our associate director, myself, or any director, I think sometimes actors don't realize how much pressure is on a director to say the exact thing that will get in a very short period of time. Sometimes when you're working for a result that you don't have 3 months, you've got to get something right away. It's very hard for to really say the exact thing. And even with experience, it's hard to come up with the right word or physical. Paul Sills used to direct with his body, very little with words when he was directing me in second story type things. And so it's hard. It's to do that, to get it. But bravo and lovely work, both of you. We put together classics here and contemporary all the time for those that are new with us, but for those in our studio, they know that. Hopefully the classics give the discipline to the contemporary work that we work on. And hopefully the contemporary work gives a kind of freedom and relaxation to the classical work, so it doesn't come across as Shakespeare, but something that's more alive. And so that's the intention. Hopefully sometimes it works. it was the thing I came away with in 1965. It was the first time I went to England, and I saw how Paul Rogers and Ian Holm would one week be doing Henry IV, Part 1 and 2 as Hal and Falstaff, and in that same week they'd be doing Pinter's The Homecoming, playing Lenny and the father. Very similar father and son kind of figure, but in a totally different, obviously, style, and how it worked one thing with the other. So with that in mind, we've been exploring Measure for Measure in the last few weeks. We're going to go to some, beginning with Measure for Measure, we're going to hear from a scene between Aeschylus and Angelo at the beginning of the play. So I'm going to ask Tom Godfrey and Sean to put their hats on with Measure for Measure. On deck will be a contemporary play called Glengarry Glen Ross. Excuse me. On deck will be a new screenplay that we are developing. It's called Cracked by Chris Mayfield. So right now we look at the first part of Measure for Measure. Sean and Tom Godfrey.
We must not make a scarecrow of the law, setting it up to fear the birds of prey till custom make it their perch and not their terror.
Aye, but yet let us be keen and rather cut a little than fall and bruise to death. Alas, this man that I would save had a most noble father. But let your honor know whom I believe to be most straight in virtue, than in the working of your own affections had time cohered with place, or place with wishing, or that the resolute acting of your own passions might have achieved the end of your own purpose, whether you had not at some time in your life erred in this point which now you censure him and bring the law down upon you?
'Tis one thing to be tempted, Aeschylus, another thing to fall. I not deny the jury passing on the prisoner's life may in the sworn 12 have a thief or two guiltier than him they try. What knows the law that thieves do pass on thieves? What's open made to justice, that justice seizes. 'Tis very pregnant. The jewel that we find, we stoop and take it because we see it. But that we do not see, we tread upon and never think of it. You may not so extenuate his offense, for I have had such faults, but rather tell me when I that censure him do so offend, let mine own judgment pattern out my death and nothing come impartial. Sir, he must die.
Be it as your wisdom wills.
Where's the provost?
Bravo. Bravo. Welcome there, down there, to Mr. Juan Carlos Diaz. There he is on the Upper West Side. Hey, Juan Carlos. Hi, man. Good to see you back. And
see you, brother. Happy holidays.
Yeah, man. And welcome to the Queen of Hong Kong, China, direct from Hong Kong. There she is, Miss Nicole Garbalini, Artistic Director of Hong Kong's Aurora Theater. And she's having breakfast with us yet again. It is shortly after 6:10 a.m. in Hong Kong. How are you, lady? You look very wide awake for 6:10. Yes.
You guys just woke me up.
Oh, okay. All right. Great to have you.
Thank you so much.
As artistic director, Nicole is now producing the Aurora International Theater Festival, for which we're very proud to be part of. A number of our actors and directors and writers, including Omar Bakri, Ishani, Sean, Michael Lazarus, are joining me in a series of short plays that are on YouTube right now, being presented through January. And so it's been a real pleasure being part of that. And I've asked Nicole to be an associate director tonight and help us look at all these scenes. So Eddie Liu, associate director, what's the one thing you would like Tom Godfrey and Sean to rehearse that scene again for 1 minute. Is there any one thing you'd like them to work on?
I thought they were fantastic. We worked on it. I honestly don't know. I think Tom, again, just try for a little more legato in the hesitation.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about it, but just try a little more legato in the hesitation, which is hard to do.
Okay.
Okay. Just take a short, your response to his first speech.
Great. Where would you like them to go from, Eddie? Any place? The beginning? Toward the middle?
Tom, your response to the first speech. Tom, I think Sean was fine. I wouldn't touch it.
Let's go 1 minute from where Eddie gave you the cue to start.
Feed him. Sean, feed him.
We must not make a scarecrow of the law, setting it up to fear the birds of prey and let it keep one shape till custom make it their perch and not their terror.
Aye, but let us be keen and cut but little rather than fall and bruise to death. Alas, this man that I would save had a most noble father. But let your honor know, whom I believe to be most straight in honor, that in the workings of your own affections. I'm sorry, Roger, did you stop us? I'm sorry, I thought you stopped us.
Keep going.
Okay. In the workings of your own affections had time cohered with place, or place with wishing, or that the resolute acting of your own blood might achieve the ends of your own purpose, that perhaps sometimes in your life that you had not erred in this point, which now you censure him and pull the law on you.
'Tis one thing to be tempted, Aeschylus, another thing to fall. I not deny the jury passing on the prisoner's life may in the sworn 12 have a thief or two guiltier than him they try. What knows the law that thieves do pass on thieves? What's open made to justice, that justice seizes. 'Tis very pregnant. The jewel that we find, we stoop and take it because we see it. But that we do not see, we tread upon and never think of it.
Bravo.
You may not.
Bravo. Bravo.
Good work, guys. Tom, that was better.
Mel,
better.
Mel, any reaction to any
hard.
reaction?
No, I think everything's going beautifully.
Thank you. Nice work, guys. All right.
Thank you all.
It's
Thank
all
you,
in
Thank you, Eddie.
You know, it's in progress, and
Thank you, Eddie.
You know, it
Thank you.
keeps moving forward. We go now to something that is totally brand new. Not to us, because we've been developing the writing in the studio with Chris Mayfield, who started with us as an actor, and lo and behold, developed into a writer as well. So, Chris, this is a scene that you brought in, I believe, in November, and we're taking another look at it, right?
Yes.
You want to introduce it? This is from Cracked, a new screenplay.
Okay, this, as Roger said, the screenplay is called Cracked. It's about a young hacker who becomes thrown into a large plot to rob American businesses. Meanwhile he's doing that, he's torn between his mother, who wants him to stay straight and go to school, and his friend, who is the mastermind of this scheme.
Great.
I'm going to introduce Sean, Tomo, and Nazreen as Alvin, Robert, and Catalina.
Great.
And I will be reading the screen directions.
Right. On deck will be Glengarry Glen Ross by a young unknown writer named David Mamet. Try him out later. Okay.
Interior, Catalina's apartment. Evening. Alvin trudges through the front door, tired, dejected. He slips to his bedroom.
Hold on. He's here right now. Alvin, get your ass over here.
Alvin walks over to Catalina, who's on the phone.
Alvin, I told you about that computer crap. I hope to God you're not using other people's computers to do anything illegal. This was supposed to be.
No.
This was supposed to be a constructive. I thought you just wanted a job.
I do. Would you calm down, please?
Then who the hell is this on the phone? Hello? Do I need a lawyer to talk to you? Alvin isn't even here. I haven't seen him in a year. He could be anywhere. Mexico, Vietnam. I don't know. I'm sorry. Who are you again? Oh my God. Sorry. You're a programming school? The Larry Ellison Institute. And your tuition packages? Full tuition. Oh my God. Thank you so much. You don't know how much this means to me. When does enrollment start? Sure. It's this fancy computer school. They want to enroll you.
What school?
The Larry Ellison Institute.
The Larry Ellison Institute. Sounds like a crappy for-profit school.
They're offering full tuition.
Full tuition? Mom, hang up the phone.
Would you just talk to him?
How do you know this isn't a trap? How do you know they're not the feds?
Take the damn phone. You're making me lose my nerve.
Alvin takes the phone.
Hello?
Interior, Catalina's house, Robert McAllister's bedroom. Day. It's Robert. He's got a phone to his ear and another 4 on the table. He's sitting in front of his old desktop.
Al, it's me.
Rod?
Go somewhere private, idiot.
I can't. It'll look weird.
What are you talking about? You can't have a private conversation?
With the representative from the school? Hell no, I can't have a private conversation.
Forget it. Alvin, listen to me. Just listen. Today or tomorrow, the feds will come to your door and they're going to ask you to come down for questioning.
What?
Alvin looks at Catalina and retreats into his bedroom and shuts the door. Interior, Catalina's house, Alvin's bedroom / Robert McAllister's bedroom. Alvin flops down on his bed.
What happened to you? Where are you? And how did you get her number?
Never mind that. When you're in the room with the feds, don't say nothing, no matter what.
Well, what if they threaten me with 100 years of prison?
They won't. They got nothing. If you let them smell your fear, they'll use every trick in the book to pick you apart.
If they got nothing, why are they coming after me?
They're just grasping at straws. Just keep your mouth shut, tough it out, you'll be okay, trust me.
That's crazy. No way, I'm running. I've got options.
Al, they probably spotted you already. If you run, I promise you won't get away.
Rob, I'm gonna ask you something, and you gotta be honest with me.
Catalina rattles the doorknob.
Alvin? Alvin, open the door. I know you ain't in there talking about school.
More banging.
I know what you're going to ask me. I'll explain it later. Just call this number, 704-555-0199. Do that the first thing you get in there. 704-555-0199.
I don't know who you're playing on my phones with, but you better get off that phone and open this door before I break it down.
Alvin hangs up and swings the door open.
Who was that?
The school.
Don't play with me, boy. Who was that on the goddamn phone?
It was the school guy. We were talking about the campus and the classes and enrollment.
Enough. You know what? This is strike one.
Strike one? Really?
Strike one. And give me my phone.
Alvin surrenders the phone.
And your computer repair service is over. I want all of that out of here.
I can't have one conversation with my friends.
The same friends who got you expelled from school? The same friends who brought the FBI to your house twice?
Alvin swings around and storms right out the door.
I can't have a conversation with you.
Where are you going?
To walk off the face of the earth.
Alvin. Alvin. If you walk out of that door, don't come back.
Whatever.
Alvin slams the door.
Alvin!
Exterior, Catalina's apartment complex. Alvin marches towards the complex's exit. And scene.
Lovely. Chris? Great.
Yes.
What did you feel tonight? Hearing that again, any changes from the last time in terms of the writing, or is this?
No, this is the same.
Right.
And no matter who I cast, everybody, I don't really have to explain. I did explain a lot in the notes that I gave them, but yeah, it seems to work. Like the language seems to work. No matter, I like what I hear.
Great. CJ, welcome. Any as a writer, do you have any input on this?
I was very impressed by the contrast between what the mother wants and what his crooked friend wants. And I thought that the actor who did it he looked really torn between the two of them. Mm-hmm. And he really doesn't know what he wants to follow. On the one hand, he wants what the guy is offering him, but he's scared of the FBI or whatever. And he doesn't really want to do what his mother wants. And I got that. And I did feel the rip and the ambivalence in what he should choose. I like the play.
Good, thank you.
Very good, Chris.
Yeah, it's a screenplay. It's a film. Mm-hmm. Eddie, is there anything you want to throw in?
I was again. I was so impressed by the dialogue. I don't think there was a word that was out of place, and I think the actors did a wonderful job. I don't know. I feel good today. Everybody, yeah, sure, you can nitpick, but I think Chris is doing something so wonderful,
right?
That it's exciting to see what's going to come of it.
Nicole, any thoughts about this as a new work?
As I was watching it, I was very curious I was asking myself, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? I wanted to know more. So is that finished, Christopher? Did you finish it or it's still going?
Yeah, I finished previous drafts. Yeah, this is like my latest draft. I'm like 75% through it.
Awesome. I think it's really that. Like I would love to watch it on camera and really feel it, see the whole thing completed. And I want to know more. I'm definitely in for more. So I think from my side, well done.
Thank you. The next
it's
step,
really good.
The next step for us is when we resume in January. We're going to give this screenplay of Chris's a full read through so that we can put it all together and see the whole shape of it before Chris goes back and starts to refine it and do some reworking. The same with Omar Bakri's play that he had a play that we just developed and he produced. We did it. It was done off Broadway in a festival, and we're going to do the same thing. Do an evening of it in January. Yeah, nicely done, guys. Good reading, by the way. And we always. I think what's good about, hopefully what's good about it, not always, but I think in the studio, we try our best to give everybody a chance to read roles that they might not be cast for. Because we all know in this business, we really don't have to read well. We have to read brilliantly. So when we develop new work, we're not developing it just for the writers. I remember the early days of the studio, the actors used to say, okay, well, now you're doing the new play. I'll be going out for a cigarette. I'll be back. And I used to say, are you kidding? Where do you think you're going to get your work from, huh? I mean, it's the writers who are going to remember you, number one. As they develop, they're going to remember you to help them develop their work in the studio and out of the studio. And indeed, over the years, that has happened more often than not. And secondly, you don't have to read well in this wonderful business we're in to get a role. You have to read brilliantly. And I wish it were fair, you see. But it's a business, and most businesses aren't fair. So we remind ourselves, why should this business be fair? The people that get work are not the best actors necessarily, but they are the best readers. And that's how they get the role. And then when they get into the productions, all they have to be is okay. But when they read, they have to be brilliant. And I think sometimes we forget that. Anyway, well done. We go now to a young writer named David Mamet, and a scene from Glengarry Glen Ross, which we've been rehearsing in the lab class. And it's with Tomo, David, Tom Godfrey, and Sean.
People used to say that there are numbers of such magnitude that if you multiplied them by 2, made no difference.
Who used to say that?
At school.
All right.
Williamson,
Hey,
they stole a contract.
They got.
Did they get my contracts?
What would you excuse us, please?
Did they?
They got. Listen, they didn't get your contract. I filed it before I left.
Don't fuck with me, fella. I'm talking about a fucking Cadillac car that you owe me.
Excuse me.
Fuck. Williamson, open your fucking door. Williamson!
They didn't get the contracts.
Did they?
They got, listen to me. They got some of them.
Some of them?
Who told you about the contracts?
Who told me you've got who is this? You got a fucking board up. Moss told me.
Moss, who told him?
How the fuck do I? Wait, talk to me.
They got some of the contracts.
Some of the contracts. Link, James Link. I closed it.
You closed them yesterday.
Yes.
It went down. I filed it.
You did?
Yes.
Then I'm over the fucking top and you owe me a Cadillac.
I can't give you.
And I don't want any fucking shit and I don't give a shit. Link puts me over the top. You filed it. That's fine. Any other shit kicks out, you closed it because you go back. You close it because I closed it and you owe me the car.
Would you excuse us?
Maybe they're in, they're in, you should, John, if they're insured.
I'm sure that we're insured, George.
Fucking insured. You owe me a car.
Hey, don't go. I gotta talk to you. What's your name?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
My name is Richard Roma.
Because they should be insured.
What do you care?
Well, then, they wouldn't be so upset.
Yeah, that's swell. Yeah, you're right. Yes. How are you?
Fine. You mean the board. You mean the board.
No. Okay, the board. Okay, the board. Yeah.
No, I'm fucked on the board. You see how I can't, because my mind must be in some other places, because I just can't get any.
What? You can't get any what?
I can't close them.
But they're old. I mean, I saw the shit they were giving you.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, they're old.
Yeah, they're ancient.
Yeah, Clear Meadows.
Clear Meadows. That shit is dead.
That is dead.
It's a waste of time.
Yes. I'm no fucking good.
That's
everything you know.
Yeah, that's not you. Fuck that, George. Fuck that shit. Hey, you had a bad month. You're a good man, George.
I am.
You had a bad streak. I mean, we've all look at this. 15 units Mountain View. The fucking things get stole. I mean,
but he said he filed all of that stuff.
Oh, he filed like half of it. He filed the big one. All the other little ones, I have to go back and fuck. I have to go out, with fucking schmuck hat in my hand, and reclose the. I mean, talk about a bad streak. It sap anyone's self-confidence. I gotta go out and reclose all my. Where's the phones?
They stole everything.
They stole the.
What kind of outfit are we running here? Where people, for anyone, where criminals who just come in here and they take the whole place?
They took the phones. They stole the contracts. What? Christ. What am I going to do this month? What am I going to do this month? Shit.
Do you think they're going to catch him? No, wait, where are you going?
Down the street.
Where are you going?
To the rest. What are you fucking?
Aren't you going out today?
With what, John? With what? They stole the fucking.
I have the stuff from last year's files.
Oh yeah, your nostalgia file. Yeah, fine, sure. Because I don't.
You want to go out
eat
today?
No. I don't have to eat this month. Okay, give them to me.
Were the leads insured?
I don't know, George. Why?
Because they were. I know that Mitch and Murray,
What?
What are we going to do this month?
They're going to be upset.
That's right.
Okay, I was just in class actually. So. Yeah, no.
See, hello? What is that?
Yeah, we're done. We're done.
We're done now, scene.
We're
Bravo,
done.
bravo.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
I hear some sound from somewhere. Is anybody please mute? If there's sound coming, would you please mute yourself so that we don't hear? Thank you.
Yeah, he told me, yeah.
Nazreen.
Nasreen, is that you?
Just a minute, I have to actually go.
Okay, I think it was. I just muted her. Bravo, guys. All right. Nancy Reardon, director. Miss Reardon, the director. Would you maybe have a note on that last scene of any sort? I can't hear, Nance. Sorry.
Muted.
I'm very bad to ask because I'm not a Mammoth fan.
Uh-huh.
But I loved seeing them work, and it is hard to do on Zoom, and they're terrific actors, but I'm not the person to ask about this.
Okay, fair enough. And by the way, it reminds me of some of the plays I've directed that I took and I didn't like the play. And I had a problem. And it reminds me that, when you have to make a living at what we do, even then, if you don't have a feeling for the work in some way, you're going to have a problem.
Absolutely. Because
the craft can only take you so far. And I tried to just use whatever craft I had, and it was disappointing.
Roger, if you're getting paid and you want to do it, you get to love it. It's like anything else. If you're playing a terrible person, you get to love the terrible person if you're acting it.
Yeah. And it is a problem because work is limited, as we all know,
Of course.
you know, and you want to say yes, particularly if it's paid. But I can only share that it bit me when I did that. It bit me, you know, luckily I didn't happen too often, but there were times when I took it because it was a job.
Yeah.
So you do have to. Anyway, Eddie? Yes.
Wow. Yeah, it was. I thought there was the only problem. I thought the guys were great. The only problem is, you need to cut. This has to be cut like a film, because when people are talking off stage, we didn't know what was going on. We just heard voices. That was a technical problem.
Yeah.
But I thought the guys were terrific. I would love to work on it with them get on the technical thing of it, you know, because
Right.
I think that
Right.
the second part was actually worked really, really well when there was that human, you know, touch,
Right.
which Mammoth, but I'd love to work on it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, just please, everybody, if you're going to send compliments, could you do it individually? Because it's hard every 2 seconds while people are acting and performing to get titles, you know, on the bottom of the screen. I'm getting them. I don't know about anybody else.
Right.
Am I the only one?
Okay.
I don't think
I don't get it. Yes, CJ, go ahead. CJ?
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is a play that I happen to know. And the kind of work they're doing is a boiler room kind of thing, in which, I mean, they keep trying to sell this land. And in order to do it, they have to be fast talkers. They have to be, it has to be so rehearsed.
Right.
You know, it's like stockbrokers trying to sell you stock, and
Yeah.
it has to go like mad. And
Right.
when a situation like
Right.
this comes, they've got to be scared to death because their living is on the line.
So, CJ, what would be the one thing you would ask them to do again with part of the scene? What would you ask them to do with it, given what you just said?
Okay, what I would like to see is for them to get specifics in their mind about what each of them has to lose by losing this particular sale. And
Okay, but more technically, what about a technical direction that goes with what you just said?
just trying to find the right word. Nerves.
You talked about
Anything.
talking faster. You talked about talking faster.
Yeah.
How about just
Talk
that?
faster.
How about
and
just
let
that?
your nerves
How about just that?
move you.
So, gentlemen, I'd like you to
Okay.
go back to the beginning and just to explore. If you have to read it, fine, please do. But I want you to really try to do what CJ just suggested, to get the rhythm of the language and to really talk as fast as you can, keeping in mind these are fast talkers, even though we're going to exaggerate it perhaps. And obviously it doesn't all go that way, but see what you can find. Here we go. Everybody ready?
Yep.
And begin, please.
Sorry, Raj, there was a domestic disturbance. I missed what was
Let's
said.
go. Are you ready, Tom?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
It said that there is numbers of such magnitude that.
Okay, let's start again. Twice as fast, Tom.
It said there are numbers of such magnitude that if you multiply them by 2, it makes no difference.
Who used to say that?
In school.
All right.
Williamson, they stole the contracts.
Excuse me, sir.
They got.
Did I get my contracts?
They didn't get.
Did they?
Would you excuse us, please?
Don't fuck with me, fella. I'm talking about a fucking Cadillac car that you owe me.
They didn't get your contract. I filed it before I left.
They didn't get my contract.
Excuse me.
Bravo. Bravo. Just that much alone, guys. Bravo.
Yeah.
You know, on Zoom, it's particularly hard to do what I just asked you to do because there is a bit of a gap sometimes in picking up sometimes the cues. I understand that. But there is a rhythm in these guys particularly, not to mention Mamet, that is a driving thing. And the challenge is to get the pace like you just got without going over the top, because sometimes when you go that fast, you tend to heighten every emotion, you know, but it doesn't have to be heightened. Yeah, it's that kind of nervous salesman thing. They are very quick-witted in that way. They think fast. They're very fast. So I think that's at the heart of this play, and I think CJ, you hit something very important about it. So bravo. All right, we move on. Let's go back to Measure for Measure, mixing the classics with the contemporary. We go to Chris and Ashani. On deck is Inji and Sean with the rose tattoo.
How now, fair maid?
I am come to know.
That you might know it would much better please me than to demand what 'tis. Your brother cannot live.
Even so, heaven keep your honor.
And yet may he live a while, and it may be as long as you or I. Yet he must die.
Under your sentence?
Yea.
When? I beseech you, that in his reprieve, longer or shorter, that he may be so fitted that his soul sicken not.
Of the all-building law, and that there were no earthly means to save him, but that you must either lay down the treasures of your body to the supposed, or else to let him suffer. What would you do?
As much for my poor brother as myself, that is, were I under the terms of death. The impression of keen whips I'd wear as rubies, and strip myself to death, as to a bed that longing have been sick for, ere I'd yield my body up to shame.
Then must your brother die?
And 'twere the cheaper way. Better it were a brother to die at once than that a sister by redeeming him should die forever.
Were you not then as cruel as the sentence that you have slandered so?
Ignominy in ransom and free pardon are of two houses. Lawful mercy is nothing kin to foul redemption.
You seemed of late to make a law of the tyrant, and rather prove the slighting of your brother a merriment than a vice.
Oh, pardon me, my lord, it oft falls out. To have what we would have, we speak not what we mean. I something do excuse the thing I hate, for his advantage that I dearly love.
We are all frail.
Else let my brother die, if not a feudary, but only he owe and succeed thy weakness.
Nay, women are frail too.
Aye, as the glasses where they view themselves, which are as so easy broke as they make forms. Women, help, heaven. Men, their creation mar and profiting by them. Nay, call us 10 times frail, for we are as soft as our complexions are, and credulous to false prints.
I think it well. And from this testimony of your own sex, since I suppose we are stronger, no stronger than faults may shake our frames, let me be bold. I do arrest your words, be that you are, that is, a woman. If you be more, you're none. If you be one, as you are well expressed by all external warrants, show it now by putting on the destined livery.
I have no tongue but one. Gentle, my lord, let me entreat you, speak the former language.
Plainly conceive, I love you.
My brother did love Juliet, and you tell me he shall die for it.
He shall not, Isabel, if you give me love.
I know your virtue hath a license in it, which seems a little fouler than it is, to pluck on others.
Believe me, on mine honor, my words express my purpose.
Little honor to be much believed, and most pernicious purpose. Seeming. I will proclaim thee, Angelo. Look for it. Sign me a present pardon for my brother, or with an outstretched throat, I'll tell the world aloud what kind of man thou art.
Who will believe thee, Isabel? My unsoiled name, the austereness of my life, my vow against you, and my place in the state will sow your accusation overweigh that you shall stifle in your own report and smell of calumny. I have begun, and now I give my sensual race the rein. Get thy consent to my sharp appetites, lay by all nicety and prolixous blushes that banish what they sue for, redeem thy brother by yielding up thy body up to my will, or else he must not only die to death, but thy unkindness shall draw his death out to lingering sufferance. Answer me tomorrow, or by this affection that now guides me most, I'll prove a tyrant to him. As for you, say what you can. My false overweighs your true.
To whom should I complain? Did I tell this? Who would believe me? Oh, perilous mouths that bear in them one and the self-same tongue, either of condemnation or proof, bidding the law make curtsy to their will, hooking both wrong and right to their appetite follow as it draws. How to my brother, though he hath fallen by prompture of the blood, yet hath he in him such a mind of honor that had he 20 heads to tender down on 20 bloody flocks, he'd yield them up before his sister should her body stoop to such abhorred pollution. Then, Isabel, live chaste, and brother die. More than our brother is our chastity. I'll tell him yet of Angelo's request, and fit his mind to death for his soul's rest.
Bravo, guys. Bravo. Bravo. Certainly for me, the best I've seen it. Both of
Yes.
you. Yeah. Mel, go ahead.
Beautiful, beautiful. She called, asked me for some notes, and I gave them, and she followed them. She has such an expressive face and so forth that she does not have to work as hard as she was working. Beautiful, very moving.
It's a great note. It's a great note for you, Shani. And you know, you're so expressive, and Mel is, I think, right on. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think you realize how expressive you are.
Right.
And you really had the right level, I thought, this time. I don't know
Beautiful.
how you felt, but you
Right.
really were right in the groove there. And Chris also so much stronger, so much more controlled, I thought. And I could believe this guy was trying very much to be a leader and, you know, to be the ruler, and rather than some kind of clown, sort of. Not that you were a clown, but you know what I mean? He was kind of laughing it off, and I couldn't quite take him that seriously. And he is serious. He has very little humor, this guy. Very little humor. It's very dark, whatever humor he has. Very dark, I think. Bravo. Eddie, anything on that?
Yeah, I thought they did beautifully. Chris, I think, is just actually both of them are natural Shakespearean. I would love to get my mitts on some of the detail, but can't do it now.
What would you give them? One thing. Give them one thing. Just one. Directing is so hard because we want to.
I need the script in front of me because I work
give them one
technically,
thing.
and I need. Chris.
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah.
Be aware of certain words that you want to hit her with.
Okay.
As opposed to a legato reading of it, which we understand, but we'll feel it if you punch some certain words.
Okay. And Ashani.
Same thing.
Okay. Good.
Same
That's a
thing,
great
Ashani.
direction. And here we go.
From the top.
Give them a place where you'd like.
Sure.
Where would you? Yeah, just from the top. We're going to go just for under a minute, just to get that sense of it.
How now, fair maid?
I've come to know your pleasure.
That you might know it. You much better please me than to demand what 'tis. Your brother cannot live.
Could you make that, Chris? It's got to be more emphatic. Your brother.
Okay, that's the direction. That's the direction.
Okay.
That's the direction. Here we go.
Yes.
Just pin Chris. Just give me let me. Let me pin him. I just lost him. Sorry, darling.
How now, fair maid?
I've come to know your pleasure.
That you might know it, would much better please me than to demand what 'tis. Your brother cannot live.
Even so, heaven keep your honor.
Yet may he live a while, as long as you or me. Yet he must die.
Bravo. Thank you, guys. Okay.
Yeah, just very quickly, Ashani, hit heaven next time you do it, because that's what you're presenting. You're God.
Right.
You're the voice of God.
Thank Vincent.
Heaven.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was great, Vincent.
Anyhow.
I know Vincent did some work with you guys, and it was very good work. And I thought you really grew in the scene, both of you.
Thanks.
Really did.
You're natural Shakespeareans.
We go now to the rose tattoo. Angie and Sean.
Yeah. I'm ready when you are, Sean.
Can't hear you, Sean. Sorry. Are you?
Sorry.
There you go.
Rondinelle felice. I will look out the window. Signora de Rose. Ce ne sono?
Sono qui. Sì, sono qui.
I hear the rat in the glasses. Let me help you.
Is there something the matter?
I didn't expect to see you looking so pretty.
You
You
are-
are a young little widow.
You are fix yourself up.
I've been to the ideal barbers. I got the whole works.
You got rose oil in your hair.
Olio di rosa. You like the smell of it? You don't like the smell of it? Oh, then I washed the smell out and I
No, fa niente. I like the smell of it. I like. Shall we set it down in the parlor?
I guess that's better than standing up in the dining room. Shall we sit on the sofa?
Oh, you pick at the sofa. I will sit down on the chair.
You don't like to sit on the sofa?
I lean back too far on the sofa. I like a straight back behind me.
That chair looks not so comfortable to me.
The chair is a comfortable chair.
But it's more easy to talk with two on the sofa.
I talk just as good on a chair as I talk on a sofa. Why do you hit your shoulders like that?
That's nervous habit.
I thought that maybe the suit don't fit too good.
I bought this suit 4 years ago to get married in.
But didn't get married.
The girl, I gave her a zircon instead of a diamond. She had it examined and I had the door slammed in my face.
I think maybe I'd do the same thing myself.
By the zircon?
No, I slammed the door.
Her eyes were not sincere looking. You've got sincere looking eyes. Give me your hand so I can tell your fortune. Oh, I see two men in your life. One handsome, one not so handsome. His ears are too big, but not as big as his heart. He has 3 dependents. In fact, he has 4 dependents.
What is the fourth dependent?
The one that every man has got. His biggest expense, worst troublemaker, and chief liability.
Oh, I hope you're not talking vulgar, eh? What's that fancy red box here?
A present I bought for a nervous but nice little lady.
Chocolates, grazie, but I'm too fat.
You're not fat, just pleasing and plump.
No, please, don't make me nervous. If I get nervous, I will start to cry again.
Let's talk about something else to take your mind off your troubles.
Yes.
You say you got a young daughter?
Yes, I got a younger daughter. Her name is Rosa.
Rosa's. She pretty?
She has the eyes of her father and his blood too, his stubborn blood. Today was the day of her graduation. She looked so pretty in her white voile dress with a great big bunch of roses.
Not no prettier than her mama, I bet, with that rose in your hair.
She's only 15.
15?
Yes, only 15.
But as a boyfriend, does she?
She met a sailor.
Oh, dear. No wonder you seem to be so nervous.
I didn't want to let her go out with the sailor. He has a gold ring in his ear.
Madonna Santa.
This morning, she cut her wrist, not much, but enough to bleed with a kitchen knife.
A very wild girl.
I had to give in to her and let her bring him in. He said he was a Catholic. I made him kneel down in front of Our Lady there and give the promise to my Rhoda that he would respect her innocence. But how do I know he is a Catholic? Really?
Poor little worried lady. But you got to face the facts. Sooner or later, you have to find that your daughter's innocence will not be respected. Did he have a tattoo?
Did the who have a what?
The sailor friend of your daughter, did he have a tattoo?
What do you ask me that?
Just because most sailors have a tattoo.
How do I know he has a tattoo or not?
I have a tattoo.
You got a tattoo?
Sì, veramente.
What do you got?
What kind do you think?
Oh, I think you got maybe a South Sea girl without the clothes on.
No South Sea girl.
Well, maybe a big red heart with a mama written across it.
Wrong again, Vanessa.
No. Not a rose.
Sì, una rosa.
I don't feel good. I don't.
Che fate? Che dite?
The house has a tin roof on it. The air is, I got to go outside to breathe. Scusatemi.
I didn't mean to surprise you. Mi dispiace molto.
Don't talk about it. Anybody could have a rose tattoo. It don't mean nothing. You know how a tin roof is. It catches the heat all day and it don't cool off before midnight.
No, not until midnight. It makes it hot in the bedroom so that you got to sleep without nothing on you.
No, you can't stand the covers.
You can't even stand a nightgown.
Please, there is a Strega next door. She is always watching.
It's been so long since I felt the soft touch of a woman. Where are you going?
Going back in the house.
What's the matter now? What's the matter?
I don't know. I got a feeling like I have forgotten something.
What?
I can't remember.
It can't be that important if you can't remember. Let's open the chocolate box and have some candy.
Yes, yes. Open the box.
Eat it. Eat the chocolate. If you
Please.
don't eat it, it will melt in your hand and make your fingers all gooey.
Please.
Eat it.
I can't. I would choke. Here. You eat it.
Put it in my mouth. Oh, good. Very good.
Stop that. That ain't nice. Stop.
I licked the chocolate off for you.
No. I am the mother of a 15-year-old girl.
You're as old as your arteries are, Baronessa. Now sit back down. Your fingers are now white as snow.
You don't understand how I feel.
You don't understand how I feel.
How do you feel? What does that mean?
Across the room, I feel the sweet warmth of a lady, but my hands are freezing.
But the circulation.
No, not too much circulation. I feel the sweet warmth of a lady.
Oh, you talk with the mouth. I think you talk with the mouth to fool a woman.
No. I know that what warms the world, that is what makes the summer. If without it, the rose will not grow on the bush.
I know. And the truck would not hold the bananas, but Mr. Mangiacavallo, this is not a sponge, this is my hand. Hands, I have bones, and bones they break.
Scusa te, mi Baronessa, for me it is a winter because I cannot feel the sweet warmth of a lady. A winter because I walk around with my hands in my pockets. What's the matter? You don't like the poetry? How should a man talk to you?
I like the poetry good, and is that a piece of poetry that fell out of your pocket? No, right there by your foot.
Oh, that's nothing.
You talk a sweet mouth about a woman that drops such a thing from your pocket. Via Vigliaccio.
Baronessa. Sing.
Bravo. You know, for those who
Loved
are
it.
joining, just to remind you that if you put the scenes on speaker view, you get a lot more, and you see the close-ups when people are there. I also would ask people who are walking around to please, during the scenes, try not to walk around, but to stay still, if you can, because it is a bit distracting visually. I loved watching the scene develop tonight, but I also loved watching the expression on Marlene Villafaine's face, because she worked on that role that Ingie played. Marlene, I would ask, share some thoughts about the scene. What did you get from the work? I mean, as a fellow actress, what would you suggest, or what did you like? What would you work on? What are the things that you learned about the role you could share?
That I learned about the role,
Yeah.
that she's, even though she's tortured, that and you played it beautifully, Indy. You really did. You gave a playfulness that I loved, a playfulness, and it's important to have that aspect in her character, to be playful, but at the same time you're also cautious, you know, because you still have that you're haunted by your husband, but there's a part of you that's like, you're torn. You're very torn at this point, and you really want this. And this man is hot. You want him, but you really want to try to contain yourself. You don't want to give yourself away too much. So I enjoyed what you did thoroughly. I really did. And Sean, I thought you were great. The accent was fabulous. I enjoyed it very, very much. And the Italian was really beautiful. Just keep doing it. When you have an Italian word with double S's or double T's, exaggerate it. Nessuno, exaggerate the S's and exaggerate those double consonants, and keep that in mind when you're doing it. But it sounds fantastic, and I enjoyed it. I really did.
Thank you.
The Italian, take it from the Italian. The Italian was perfect.
You know
Take
what's
it from
great?
me.
What's great about what's great about these plays and these roles is they belong to nobody. So everybody, whether it's Marlene or Ingie, you make it your own. You use yourself, and I thought that was so wonderful, Ingie. You did use yourself, and Sean also. I like what Marlene said about being cautious. It had to do with the note I gave on on Saturday that there is this fear of this man because she's still in love. She's still married in her mind to this man who passed away. And that attraction that she might feel is scary to her. So there's more resistance and cautiousness rather than just all the time the playfulness. Not that it was all the time, but I think that note from Marlene was very, very, very helpful. Let's ask Mel, how about you?
Yeah, now that I've cooled down from last time, let's work a little technically. I think when the condom falls out of his pocket, boom, that's like a little bomb that goes off. We've got cued. I was watching everybody's expression. Everyone was falling in love with you. And fine, and then we've got to do some pauses.
Mel,
hesitation.
Mel, give them one thing that you'd like them to work on in the.
Don't be afraid of the pause when you're doing the. I want everyone in the audience to know when the condom falls out of his pocket, because that's boom. And then you find out the candy was what he bought for the other girlfriend. It is a complete turnaround. So I want it emphasized more.
Eddie, what's one thing you would want them to do in a rerun?
Very easy, very simple. The first beat, when you see each other, we have to see that's it. Your fates are sealed, and for Serafina, the thing is to fight it off. But the thing is, it's electric when you see each other. Don't forget, you got dressed up for each other.
Eddie, great note. You know, guys, it's the hardest thing in the world for me and for you as an actor, for Omar and Chris as a writer. When people say be simple, yeah, good luck. That's the hardest damn thing. To say things in 3 words or 4 words and trust that's enough. That's really hard. But that's what I'd like to practice myself. And I try. And I think as actors, when somebody says be simple, what a pain. Yeah, thanks. How do you, it takes time to be simple. It takes years, it takes experience. It takes working at it. And directing is the same. Let's Eddie, give them a cue to do what you just asked them to do.
The very beginning, when he sings and she comes out and you see each other for the first time.
Here we go.
Rondinelle felice. I will look out the window. Signora De Rose. Ce ne sono?
Sì, sono qui. Sì, sono qui.
I have out of the glasses. Let me help you.
Is something the matter?
I didn't expect to see you looking so pretty. You are a young little widow.
You are fix yourself up.
I've been to Ideal Barbers. I got the whole works.
You got rose oil in your hair.
Oil de rose. You like the smell of it? You don't like the smell of it? Oh, then I go and wash the smell out.
No, niente. I like.
Bravo. Thank you. Good direction.
It's so cute.
Very good. Mr. Tennessee Williams' birthday comes up in March. We're going to celebrate as we usually do every year. And we're continuing our pre-celebration with Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. We got two biggies. We got a big mama, we got a big daddy. How can we go wrong here? And Vicky had the wrong hat on. I'm sorry, Vicky. All right, we'll give you a chance to get ready. And while you need to get ready.
I'm fine.
How about you, Tom? You ready? Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Tom.
I'm ready, y'all.
Okay, ready to go. Here we go.
Big Daddy, come blow out the candles on your birthday cake.
I told you to stop it. Stop it. Quit this bull.
Big Daddy, I'm not going to let you talk like that, even on your birthday.
I'll talk like I want on my birthday or any other goddamn day of the year. Anybody doesn't like it, they know what they can do.
Big Daddy, you don't mean that.
What makes you think I don't mean it?
I just know you don't mean it.
You don't know a goddamn thing and you never did.
Big Daddy, you don't mean that.
Oh, yes, I do mean it. I put up a whole lot of crap around here because you thought I was dying of cancer. Well, you can stop taking over now because I'm not going to die. Ain't that so, Ida? Didn't you think I was going to die of cancer and you could take over this place and everything on it? I got that impression. I seem to get that impression. Your loud voice everywhere, your busy old buddy, butting in here and there.
Hush, the preacher.
Rut the preacher. Did you hear what I said? Rut the cotton picking, chicken eating, memorial stained glass preacher.
I've never seen him act like that before. I can't think what's got into you.
I went through that laboratory and exploratory surgery just to find out who's boss around here. Now it turns out that I am, and you ain't. And that's my birthday present. And my cake and champagne. Because for 3 years now, you've been gradually taking over. Bossing, talking, sashaying your fat butt around the place I made. I made this place. I was overseer on it. I was overseer of the old straw and Ocello plantation. I quit school at 10 years old. I quit school at 10 years old and I went to work like a slave in the fields. And I rose to be overseer of the old straw and Ocello plantation. And old straw died. I was Ocello's partner. And the place got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I did all that with no goddamn help from you. And now you think you're about to take over? I'm about to tell you not about to take over a goddamn thing. Now, is that clear to you, Ida? Is that understood completely? Now, I've been through the laboratory from A to Z, and nothing was found wrong with me but a spastic colon. Made spastic, I guess, by all the lies and liars I've had to put up with. And these past 40 years, we've been living together. Now, blow out the candles on the birthday cake. Take a deep breath and blow out the goddamn candles on the cake.
In all these years, you never believed I loved you.
Huh?
And I did so much. I did love you. I even loved your hate and your hardness, Big Daddy.
Now, wouldn't that be something if that was the truth?
Bravo, bravo, guys. Beautifully done. And it keeps moving to the next level with both of you. Vicky, if I may, Tom, you keep growing in that role because you keep working on it. And it shows. It shows. You really have grown tremendously as an actor, I think, in that role. Sometimes I wish you would bring other things in instead of the same monologue, but here,
that was good. I saw another one, yeah.
Yeah, but you really, you're using the whole space. I see the other characters. You're talking to the other characters.
Yeah, I'm talking around. Yeah, I'm getting used to the Zoom. I finally got the Zoom where I'm walking around and looking at Brick and Maggie and everybody.
And it reminds us.
And I see them.
It reminds us that you might have only one person in the scene with you that you're talking to and they're talking back. But how about the other characters that are in those scenes that aren't talking? They're there also. And those reactions that when you play a scene with other characters, if they don't speak, it doesn't mean because they don't speak aloud, you don't play off of them. So I want to see more of that like you just did, Tom.
Yeah.
Vicky, wonderful work on this.
Yeah, it was
such a good role and such a
good casting.
Good casting and you were just beautiful. I'd like you to try something right now to try to re-rehearse this last speech and just to see how it would happen. Tom, take the last line to her, and then Vicky, take your last line to him. And Vicky, I'd like you to make it as simple as you possibly can.
take a deep breath and blow out the goddamn candles on the cake.
In all these years, you never believed that I loved you.
Huh?
And I did. I did so much. I did love you. I even loved your hate and your hardness, Big Daddy.
Now, wouldn't that be something if that was true?
Bravo. The hardest thing to trust is if you do it simply, the emotions are there. If you're really in the moment,
Right.
you know, and
Yeah.
I think it just makes you so much better, Vicky, when you do that. And usually it makes all of us better, but it's easier said than done. Easier said than done.
It's
Lovely.
so easy to fall back on the fake crying, but
Yes.
it's I had Joan Darling a seminar with her. She directed. She was the first woman director on TV.
Yes, she was a very good
She was wonderful.
director. Yeah,
But
good actress.
anyway,
Director, yeah.
the thing that she taught me was it's harder to hold back tears and show it in your
So let
eyes.
it-
So I
Yeah.
try to remember that.
Yeah,
Very hard.
that was
Very
good.
hard.
Good
Yeah.
job.
Omar, any notes as a director on anything on this scene or anything else you've watched?
No. I mean, no. I enjoyed all of them very much. Tom, you really grew in the role, I must say.
Thank
And Sean, I really enjoyed your guys' scene. And the most thing that I found astonishing is that you have a very intelligent look in your eyes, but you really you looked like the village fool in the scene. I don't know how you did that, but that was very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
miraculous.
you did. Yeah, good
But
job.
I
Yeah.
love the scene, guys, and Tom, you've really grown in the role. Vicky, I liked your performance. But I would choose a moment and pick something that Tom says that really cuts you inside. It develops some kind of you get really hurt from something he says. And I think you should pick a moment in the scene where that switch happens.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah, that's about it.
Bravo, Omar. Bravo. And again, very simple directions and right to the point. Great. Nice work, everybody. We go to now back to Measure for Measure with Miss Nasreen, Ishani. No, it's Nasreen, Chris, Tomo, and Sean with Eddie directing. Do you need a moment? While we're taking a moment, Nicole, any notes on anything so far that you would like to share?
Yes, I particularly enjoyed Glengarry Glen Ross because it's one of my favorite plays. So I really think that when it comes to David Mamet, it's like a symphony. Like the director, more than anything, is a conductor. So I think it's very important for the actors to get that pace where there is no space in between, that there are no pauses in between. And it was really interesting to see the second time how they did it, because it's not an easy thing to do on Zoom, but the second time it really, really came alive. I could almost close my eyes and just be captured by the voices. So that was great. And that was one. I really, really enjoyed the scene with Sean and Ingi, among the others. I think they really had the Italian, they really created a very good Italian background and surrounding. If I could add just one tiny little thing, if it could help them, I would add a little extra physicality, because if I think about Italian men and women, they're always so physical, especially men, all their strength is in their shoulders, they're manly, especially in the 1950s when this movie was really manly, very broad shoulders, and use that. As in for the women, I'm
I'm almost thinking like the Columbina character in Commedia dell'arte, the stock character, when they use their hand a lot, their shoulder like down, boobies out almost, like that sort of thing, but innocent. It's not sexual, it's not vulgar, it's really innocent. That makes it even more sexy in a way. So I was thinking about that.
Bravo, bravo. Yeah, thank you. Really, really great notes. And the Italian theater, even the contemporary, some of the Italian theaters, and the Commedia dell'arte is still very influential in some of the style of
I'd say so.
Italian comedy and what have you.
Yes, exactly. Even if one decides to go like adopt something, it doesn't have to be all the way to go all the way, but some elements, I feel like they're always there.
Great, great. Let's go to Nasreen, Chris, Tomo, and Sean. Measure for Measure, alias Nasreen and Du Bois. The famous classic play.
Yeah, I was over here. Okay.
Eddie was directing this in rehearsal.
Good friar, let's hear it. Do you not smile at this, Lord Angelo? Oh, heaven, the vanity of wretched fools. Give us some seats. Come, cousin Angelo. In this I'll be impartial. Be you judge of your own cause. Is this the witness, friar? First let her show her face, and after speak.
Pardon, my lord. I will not show my face until my husband bid me.
What, are you married?
No, my lord.
Are you a maid?
No, my lord.
A widow, then?
Neither, my lord.
Why, you are nothing then, neither maid, widow, nor wife? Silence that fellow. I would he had some cause to prattle for himself.
My lord, I do confess I ne'er was married, and I confess besides I am no maid.
He was drunk, my lord. It can be no better.
For the benefit of silence, would thou work so too?
Well, my lord.
This is no witness for Lord Angelo.
Now I come to it, my lord. She who accuses him of fornication in self-same manner doth accuse my husband and charges him with such a time, when I'll confess I had him in mine arms with all the effect of love.
Charges she more than me?
Not that I know.
No, you say your husband.
Why, just my lord, and that is Angelo, who thinks he knows that he ne'er knew my body, but knows he thinks that he knows Isabel's.
This is a strange abuse. Let's see thy face.
My husband bids me. Now I will unmask. This is that face, thou cruel Angelo, which once thou sworest was worth the looking at. This is the hand which with a vowed contract was fast belocked in thine. This is the body that took away the marriage of Isabel, and did supply thee at thy garden house in her imagined person.
Know you this woman?
Carnally, she says.
Sirrah, no more.
Enough, my lord.
My lord, I must confess I know this woman. And 5 years since there was some speech betwixt us of marriage between myself and her, which was broke off, partly for that her promised proportions came short of composition, but in chief for that her reputation was disvalued in levity. Since which time of 5 years I never spake with her, saw her, nor heard from her, upon my faith and honor.
Noble prince, as there comes light from heaven and wordsome breath, There is sense in truth, and truth in virtue. I am affianced this man's wife as strongly as words could make up vows. And my good lord, a Tuesday night last gone in's garden house, he knew me as a wife. As this is true, let me in safety raise me from my knees, or else forever be confixed here, a marble monument.
I did but smile till now. Now, good my lord, give me the scope of justice. My patience here is touched. I do perceive these poor informal women are no more but instruments of some more mightier member that sets them on. Let me have my way, my lord, to find this practice out.
Aye, with my heart, and punish them to your height of pleasure. Thou foolish friar, thou pernicious woman, compact with her that's gone, thinkst thou thy oaths, though they would swear down each particular saint, were testimonies against his worth and credit that sealed an approbation? You, Lord Aeschylus, sit with my cousin, lend him your kind pains to find out this abuse whence 'tis derived. There is another friar that set them on. Let him be sent for.
Bravo, bravo. Nice work, guys. It keeps growing, this scene. Very much so. Eddie, this scene in rehearsal tonight, go ahead.
Great, guys. Sean, when you make that speech, I need more devastation, the realization of what you did to this poor woman. It's a little too you're a little too strong. I mean, it's beautiful. The whole thing is just, everybody was just wonderful. But that's the moment that's got to make the play so human, that this guy.
Yeah.
So anyhow, just really, really show the devastation what you did to her.
Great. Let's give them one thing that you'd like to have them re-rehearse in a section of 1 minute only.
Yeah, can we do the beginning, because Chris wasn't there? And
right, that would help. That would help.
Yeah, that would help. Let's
That
do
would
that,
help.
because
What happened, Chris? You okay?
Yeah, I am not. Things kind of got a little messed up on my end as far as the connection. So I kind of just, I didn't want to, it was like, do I jump in? Do I just say it and break up the rhythm? Or do I just and it seemed like Tomo was continuing. So I was just like, all right, screw it. Let me just get the next
all right, we're going to do it again, because Chris, the role is so short and you're so good in it. Let's see you, the two of you interact.
Here we go. From the beginning, just a minute for re-rehearsing it.
Good friar, let's hear it. Do you not smile at this, Lord Angelo? Oh, heaven, the vanity of wretched fools. Give us some seats. Come, cousin Angelo, I'll be impartial. Be you judge of your own cause. Is this the witness, friar? First let her show her face, and then speak.
Pardon, my lord. I will not show my face until my husband bid me.
What, are you married?
No, my lord.
Are you a maid?
No, my lord.
A widow, then?
Neither, my lord.
What, you are nothing, then, neither maid, widow, nor wife?
My lord, she may be a punk, for many of them are neither maid, nor widow, nor wife.
Silence that fellow! I would he had some cause to prattle for himself.
Well, my lord.
My lord, I do confess I ne'er was married, and I confess besides I am no maid. I have known my husband, yet my husband knows not that ever he knew me.
He was drunk then, my lord. It can be no better.
For the benefit of silence, would thou wert so too?
Well, my lord.
This is no witness for Lord Angelo.
Good.
Now I come to it, my lord. She who accuses him of fornication in self-same manner doth accuse my husband, and charges him with such a time, when I'll confess I had him in mine arms with all the effect of love.
Charges she more than me?
No.
Bravo, bravo.
Yeah. great.
My picture
Bravo.
is not up anymore, Roger. I have no idea what happened, but could I just make one
Yeah, go ahead,
30-second
Mel. Go
suggestion? For a little bit of contrast, Nasreen, I think when you come in, be a little, you're in charge. You have all the answers. Are you this? No. Are you that? No. Are you that? You feel as though you're going to win this argument. Don't be quite so geisha-like. Save that for later on. But you march into that court and you chutzpah.
Okay, great.
Try it
good
like
note.
that.
Good
See
note.
what happens.
Good job, guys. To be continued, but a good note to think about. What happened with Chris
I
this
don't know where my
time
picture is.
in terms of this happens in well, maybe more often than we would like to think, and either an actor drops a cue
Yeah.
or forgets a line, and then Tomo has a line like "be silent" when there's no line at all. So the question is, as Chris brought up, what does the actor playing Lucio do, which is what his question was? Does he come in? Does he interrupt? What does an actor like Tomo do when he has a line like "shut up" when nobody actually said anything? And to make it even worse, it's Shakespeare, and everybody thinks, oh my God, how are you going to improvise with Shakespeare? So the question is, what do you do? And we all have to tap dance once in a while, even in Shakespeare. And thinking out loud, I'm thinking, if I were playing the Duke, what would I do? Well, in my mind, the first thing that came to my mind, and of course it's easy to think about it now because I'm watching, if I'm in the heat of the moment, I might not get it. But if the line doesn't come from Chris, the Duke could be so paranoid by his presence of Lucio. He's so paranoid that even though he says nothing, he says, shut up. It's almost like he hears him speaking anyway, like in his beard, maybe Lucio's muttering away, and he hears it and it's very loud. He says, shut up, silence on me, It would make sense. So in other words, guys, we have to kind of be totally open to anything happening. And in Shakespeare, my God, the fear is, how do you improvise? What are you going to do? You got to use the lines, but yeah, we still have to, yeah. And Chris, you could come in, and if the worst that would happen is you overlap and you work it out,
Say,
By the
what
way,
did you say?
I just want to compliment Tomo for he didn't miss a beat.
No,
That
they
was
didn't.
wonderful.
They didn't. Let's go to Vicky and Tomo for the final measure for measure scene between the provost and the Duke. And after that, we'll go to French kiss. And then the seagull.
If you just yell enough, Tomo, it covers all the bases. It doesn't have to be you. Just enough. And that works in the classroom, I'll tell you that. Everybody has a guilty feeling.
Okay.
Here we go.
Throw in the bow once in a while.
Now, sir, what news?
I told you, Lord. I told you. Lord Angelo be like thinking me remiss in mine office, awakens me with his unwonted putting on, methinks, strangely, for he hath not used it before.
Pray you, let's hear.
Whatsoever you may hear to the contrary, let Claudio be executed by 4 of the clock, and in the afternoon Barnardine. For my better satisfaction, let me have Claudio's head sent me by 5. Let this be duly performed with the thought that more depends on it than we must yet deliver. Thus fail not to do your office, as you will answer it at your peril. What say you to this, sir?
What is this Barnardine who is to be executed in the afternoon?
A Bohemian born, but here nursed up and bred. One that is a prisoner 9 years.
How came it that the absent duke had not either delivered him to his liberty or executed him? I have heard it was ever his manner to do so.
His friends still wrought reprieves for him, and indeed his fact till now in the government of Lord Angelo came not to an undoubtful proof.
It is now apparent.
Most manifest and not denied by himself.
Hath he borne himself penitently in prison? How seems he to be touched?
A man that apprehends death no more dreadfully, but as a drunken sleep, careless, reckless, and fearless of what's past, present, or to come, insensible of mortality, and desperately mortal.
He wants advice.
He will hear none. He hath evermore had the liberty of the prison, give him leave to escape hence. He would not. Drunk many times a day, if not many days, entirely drunk. We have very oft awakened him as if to carry him to execution, and showed him a seemingly warrant for it. It hath not moved him at all.
More of him anon. There is written in your brow, Provost, honesty and constancy. If I read it not truly, my ancient skill beguiles me, but in the boldness of my cunning, I will lay myself in hazard. Claudio, whom here you have a warrant to execute, is no greater forfeit to the law than Angelo, who hath sentenced him. To make you understand this in a manifested effect, I crave but 4 days' respite, for the which you are to do me a present and dangerous courtesy.
Pray, sir, in what?
In the delaying death.
Alack, how may I do it? Having the hour limited and an express command under penalty to deliver his head in the view of Angelo. I may make my case as Claudio's to cross this in the smallest.
Scene.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. I loved watching both of you, and how, Vicky, how you really have, you're much more comfortable now with this part. You really got into the role. And I love, Tomo, what you're doing, but I have to admit, I was almost watching Omar as much as you, because he was enjoying what was obviously your Egyptian accent. You know. Yes. It was definitely an Egyptian accent, at least to my ears. You know, he was loving
South
it.
Egypt.
Yeah, he felt right at home. So, anything, Nicole, on this? Any of the measure for measure, this last scene, or anything that you'd like them to try in another little rehearsal of this scene? Anything at all?
I say like, because to me, like Shakespeare is all about the language. I'd say like, what words like need to be emphasized? What words need to be stressed? Like, would that be of any help?
Listen, yes. I mean, obviously the language is very important.
So
yeah.
So are there any words that like need to be emphasized to push the intensity further? That's what I was thinking of.
Right, without slowing it down, though.
Of course, no,
Yeah,
keeping it up. Yeah.
Yeah, but picking the right word, you know, that would bring out the whole idea of what you're saying is, I think, what you're saying, Nicole, to find the right word to emphasize. Okay.
Nicole, a lady after my own heart.
Yeah.
Vicky, I love your energy. I didn't know you had that in you. When you came out at the beginning with, you know, I thought, wow, where did that come from?
Yeah.
That was great. I like to see more of that.
Beautiful.
I try to read or do the lines to make sense.
Yep.
So that's what I guess I don't emphasize one word.
I'm
Nicole?
looking for Southern Wimp.
Let's start from the beginning again and take the direction Nicole just gave and go with that for about a minute.
Let me get up here.
Now, sir, what news?
I told you, Lord Angelo be like thinking me remiss in mine office, awakens me with this unwanted putting on, methinks strangely, for he hath not used it before.
Pray you, let's hear.
Whatsoever you may hear to the contrary, let Claudio be executed by 4 of the clock, and in the afternoon Barnardine, for my better satisfaction of Claudio's head, sent me by 5. Let this be duly performed with the thought that more depends on it than we must yet deliver. Thus fail not to do your office, as you will answer it in peril. What say you to this, sir?
What is that Barnardine who is to be executed in the afternoon?
Bravo.
A Bohemian.
Bravo. Yeah, bravo. Yeah. It's always a balance. You always want to accent a certain word without hitting it too hard. But it is important to stress and make it clearer by hitting a key word in a phrase, particularly with.
Can I just make an observation?
Yeah.
The first 2 words that each of you say is supposed to be accented, which suddenly gives Tomo, which gives the Duke, he's demanding an answer. He's not asking her for an answer.
Right.
That's a color that Shakespeare wants. He's a Duke. He's demanding an answer. He doesn't have to be cruel. He's just demanding an answer. What instead of what?
Great. Thank you.
We talked about this, right, Tomo? We talked about all these.
Yep. Thank you, Ed.
I think it's important to hit the ending consonants too, for me. Remiss.
Great.
You know.
Your energy is amazing, both of you. Vicky, I love your energy. I love your energy, Tomo. I love the accent. So it's there. To me, it's there. It's just like an elevation. So well done.
Lovely. Tomo, it's getting to be a Tomo festival. The last 3 scenes, I guess you're so I think what we'll do, if you don't mind, is give you a break. We'll give you a break and go to Ingie and Chris for the Seagull, and then have Tomo and Ishani do the French Kiss. Okay?
Sounds good.
So let's go to the Seagull by Mr. Chekhov.
Where's Ingie?
I'm here. Can you see me? Chris, can you see me?
Yes, I can see. I just pinned you to the screen.
When you are.
Yeah.
Writing when you are.
Page 121, lines 11 and 12. Here it is. If ever you need my life, come and take it.
They'll bring the horses soon.
If ever you need my life, come and take it.
I hope all your things are packed now.
Yes, yes. Why do I hear sadness and this appeal from a pure spirit? Why is my heart so painfully constricted? If ever you need my life, come and take it. Let's stay one more day. Let's stay.
My dear, I know what's holding you here, but control yourself. You're a little tipsy, sober up.
You two must be sober. Must show good sense and intelligence. I beg you, just take a look around all this as a friend. You're capable of making sacrifices. Release me.
Are you so infatuated?
I am called to her. Perhaps it is just what I need.
The love of a provincial girl? How little you know of yourself.
Sometimes people sleep on their feet. So while I'm talking to you, it's as if I'm sleeping and I'm seeing her in a dream, and I'm overcome by sweet, wonderful dreams. Let me go.
No. I am an ordinary woman. You mustn't talk to me like that. Don't torment me, Boris. I am afraid.
If you want, you can rise above the ordinary. A young, beautiful, poetic love that transports us into the world of dreams. That's the only thing that can give us happiness. I've never felt such love. When I was young, I had no time. I was hanging around the doors of publishers, struggling with poverty. Now that this love has come at last, what sense is there in running away from it?
You're out of your mind.
Well,
Today you have all conspired to torment me.
she doesn't understand. She doesn't want to understand.
Am I really now so old and ugly that you can talk to me like that about another woman without a shame? Oh, you have gone mad. My beautiful, my wonderful man. The last page of my life. If you leave me even for 1 second, I won't survive. I shall go out of my mind, my marvelous, magnificent, my conqueror.
Someone might come in.
Them! I am not ashamed of my love for you. My treasure, my wild man. You want to behave like a lunatic, but I don't want you to, and I won't let you. You are mine. You are mine. This forehead is mine. These eyes are mine. This silky hair is mine. You are so talented, so wise. The best of all writers today. You are Russia's one hope. You have such reserves of sincerity, simplicity, freshness, sane humor. In a single line, you can convey the essence of a landscape or a character, and your characters are alive. Oh, no one can read you without going into ecstasy. Do you think this praise is absurd? Am I a flatterer? Come, look into my eyes. Look here. Do I look like I'm a liar? See, only I appreciate you. Only I can tell you the truth. My wonderful friend, my dearest wonderful friend. Will you come? You will. You won't abandon me.
I have no will of my own. I never had a will of my own. Feeble, flabby, always giving in. Can that really appeal to a woman? Take me, carry me off. Just don't let me one step away from you.
Now he's mine. But, you know, if you want to stay, I will myself will go off and you'll come on later in a week's time. I mean, what's the hurry?
No, let's leave together.
As you like. Together it is. Yeah.
In my next life, I'm coming back as Inji. What a life I would have.
Bravo.
You are beautiful, Inji. You're fabulous.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Bravo. Bravo.
Anybody, Eddie,
Yes.
anything on the rehearsal today?
I thought it was beautiful. I thought the essence was the injury. I felt the pain of this poor woman. There's one thing when he says something that's a slap in the face to you, Inji, and we have to see, and that is, I never felt love like this. I mean, he's talking about you're lovers, and he says, I never felt this kind of love before, and that's a slap in the face. And I don't know, respond that way. That someone just slapped you in the face. What? Feet of the line. Chris?
Yeah. I've never felt such love before. When I was hanging around with the doors of publishers, I never had no time. I was struggling with poverty. Now that this love has come at last, what sense is there in running away from it?
You're out of your mind.
Well?
Today, you have all conspired to torment me.
That's more like it. But the first answer is try to slap him back in the face.
When I was young, great, beautiful dreams that transports us into the world of dreams. I've never felt such love. When I was young, I had no time. I was hanging around the doors of publishers, struggling with poverty. Now that this love has come at last, what sense is there in running away from it?
You're out of your mind.
Well?
Today you have all conspired to torment me.
She doesn't understand. She doesn't want to understand.
Am I really now so old and ugly that you can talk to me about another woman with no shame? Oh, you have gone mad, my beautiful, wonderful man. The last page of my life. If you leave me, even for a second, I won't survive. I shall go out of my mind, my marvelous, my magnificent man, my conqueror.
Someone might come in.
Let them. I am not ashamed of my love for you. My wild man, you want to behave like a lunatic, but I don't want you to, and I won't let you. You are mine. You are mine. You are all mine. This forehead is mine. These eyes are mine. This silky hair is mine. You are so talented, so wise. The best of all writers today. You are Russia's one hope. You have such reserves of sincerity, simplicity, freshness, sane humor. In a single line, you can convey the essence of a person or a landscape. Your characters are alive. Oh, no one can read you without going into ecstasy. Do you think this praise is absurd? Am I a flatterer? Come, look into my eyes. Look here. Do I look like I'm a liar? See, only I can appreciate you. Only I can tell you the truth. My dearest, wonderful friend, you will come. You will. You won't abandon me.
I don't have a will of my own. I never had a will of my own. Ugh, feeble, flabby, always giving in. Oh. Can this really appeal to a woman? Take me, carry me off. Just don't let me one step away from you.
Now he's mine. But if you want, you can come a little later. You know, what's the hurry? I can go off and you come in a week or so.
No, let's leave together.
As you like.
Oh, you devil.
Bravo.
That was great. That was great. Both of you just were bouncing.
Wonderful.
Thank
you. Great.
So Inji, beautifully, you've grown in the role, obviously, since you started on it as a monologue, and now in the scene with Chris. I think you really have grown so much as an actress. Chris, I'm so proud of you because you started working on Trigorin over a year ago.
Yeah, I did.
And you know, Chekhov, I mean, there's a reason the Moscow Art Theater works years and years on when they rehearse. They go months and months with these plays because they're so rich. And you've really done that. You put that time into it, and the work shows. And not that it's always better each time, because there's sometimes you're trying things and maybe it's not as good as one time or the other. It's also, but the idea is it's been percolating. It's getting richer in you and your understanding of it, both of you. But in Chris, it's gotten to be part of you. The role has it's become organic in you, and you have a feeling for it. These are roles and plays that, yeah, these are beautifully written plays, but they also, for actors, give you individually as actors a chance to grow more than any writer I know, except maybe Shakespeare. But in terms of contemporary language, he's much closer to contemporary language, obviously. So for that reason, each year, our studio usually looks at Chekhov's birthday month, which is January, to celebrate his work. By doing that, we also celebrate new writers, because writers who are new and alive are mostly influenced by Chekhov, whether they know it or not. It's such an influence on contemporary writing. So we're celebrating Omar, we're celebrating Chris, we're celebrating writers in our studio, as well as other contemporary writers who have been influenced when we celebrate Chekhov. So for January, when we come back on January 9th and 11th, I really would like you all to bring in either a scene or a monologue from a Chekhov, either play, short play. There's so many great short plays, or full-length play, and really by the end of the month, which is actually his birthday, his 161st birthday, is January 29th. He'll be 161 years old. We'll do some kind of celebration of his birthday. And again, I'm not saying we should exclusively just do Chekhov next month, but I'd like to focus on him. So that's looking ahead. Yeah, great work, guys, on that.
Can I just say 1 second to Christopher? I saw more range in you tonight, Chris, than I have seen in almost all the work you've done so far. You just exploded in so many different areas. And if I were casting, I could see you cast in a lot more roles now than I did when I first met you in my living room months ago, years ago. You did beautiful work tonight.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah, Chris, I wanted to say the same thing. Your work today was really incredible.
Right.
Everybody was wonderful. I mean, seeing everybody doing different scenes and how each person is growing, because we've been around a long time. We've seen you work.
Yeah.
Today was very impressive. Everybody, very impressive.
Let's go to our French kiss with two beautiful French kissers, Tomo and Ishani. This is a screenplay.
Where's Ishani?
This is a screenplay.
There she is. Okay.
Ishani and Tomo.
I told you, the room is nice. All hotel rooms in France are nice, eh?
Let's clear something up. I'm here to help you sell your necklace, and you are here to help me get Chris back.
But wait. Okay, So I try to understand. He tells you he met this woman.
Oh,
No, pardon. He tells you he met this goddess, right? He breaks your heart. He
hurts me, humbles me,
humiliates you.
humiliates me.
Well, and then you come to Paris so that he can do it again, but this time right in your face.
No, I came to Paris to get back the man I love. Is that so hard to understand? Even for a person such as yourself?
Okay, and meanwhile his lover,
Ever use that word again?
pardon, this bastard woman, maybe she is thinking something else.
What? He saw me. Myself? What? Everything would change. This spell would be broken. What? I don't think I could change his mind. Our life together. We had a wonderful, perfect life together.
Evidently.
We were happy. I'm so happy.
When someone tells me they are happy, my ass begins to twitch.
And we had plans, okay? We had plans for a family and a home, and I'd remind him of that too.
He was obviously very attached to them.
Well, if all else fails, I...
Get down on your knees and beg?
It's possible!
Okay, now I can see it. There is the goddess standing next to Charlie in her negligee, and there are you on your knees begging. Poor Charlie. Tough decision.
You're gonna be sleeping on the bed, floor, okay?
Sylvie?
Merci.
Scene.
Bravo.
Are the red pants for Christmas, Tomo? Those are
Yes,
very
that was
nice.
a treat for you, Mel.
Red on one side, green on the other. Very nice.
Yeah, nice work, guys. What, if anything, did you feel different about tonight's rehearsal? Shani, anything? More toothpaste tonight.
A lot of spitting.
Yeah. I thought it helped.
Raj, did you get a little bit of Audrey Hepburn with Ashani tonight? If she had toned it down a little bit, all of a sudden I got that Audrey
Yes.
Hepburn charm, which I
Yes.
haven't gotten before. Tone it down a bit and dude, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the haircut and the toothpaste, I think, that did it. The haircut and the toothpaste
And
but
the
I know
white
what
undershirt, right.
I know what you mean, though. Yeah. And it's a charming script. I mean, it's meant to charm, I'm sure. I mean, it just has that element of romantic comedy. You know, you feel it. How did you feel working on it, Tomo, tonight?
It felt good. We've practiced it a lot of times and worked around with like various slapstick things, what to do and how to do it. So I really enjoyed it tonight. I like the indecision that Shani did with the extra gagging on the toothpaste and the toothbrush. So that was kind of a nice.
Yeah, it has to be timed. The gag has to be timed. All the gagging. Right. Omar, any notes as a director?
No, I really enjoyed it, and that Tomo, I'm enjoying your range as an actor.
Isn't it marvelous, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
It wasn't his Egyptian accent I was enjoying. He did 3 scenes in a row, and the range was
Yeah.
really good.
But it could have had more range with an Egyptian accent, right? You know,
I
it could
suppose
have.
so.
Yes, of course.
Denial, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how
Shani,
about-
I would go with slightly less toothpaste. Just not too much. Yeah, like you know, just a little bit less. But you did really good.
Should be all over the place.
Nicole, any one thing you'd like, aside from your notes, for them to go back and rehearse again right now?
I don't have actually many notes for this. I really enjoyed how it was. I would go with Omar, maybe less toothpaste, like, so I could see that there was a bit of a struggle there, but you know, you continued, like, and that's what is important. So I really enjoyed the visual element, like what you guys did with what you had available. And I thought that was great. You did so much with so little. So
yeah.
Tomo, I'm not being facetious, but I think when you start to unbuckle your belt and your I think you can do so much in that scene to show what the relationship is right then with the two of you. Are you aggressive? Are you a little bashful? Do you turn around? Well, you know, it's a good piece of business. I would like to see more of you showing how you feel about her, vice versa. And you can do it there, the way you can do it with the first spitting. You know, those are great little shticks that you can do stuff with.
It's a great point. It's a great point, Mill. I just, you know, I mean, does he take his belt off to kind of flaunt it? Like, who cares whether you're here? I'm getting undressed because I'm getting ready, and if you're here,
the button isn't right. It's a good piece of shtick for both of you.
You know, or is he doing it? Or is he doing it kind of bashfully? You know,
right?
Because she's in the room and he wishes she would turn away. I mean, it
should tell me more about the relationship.
Yeah, it reminds us that physical mise en scène or business really
and
is
what you're wearing as underpants is very important in that scene. I'm not being phony, facetious like I was the other day, but it's a great piece of shtick. Right. The way her spitting is a great piece of shtick.
Tomo, what do you feel about what is his attitude about her when he's undressing? Does he give a shit?
I couldn't tell.
No, he really doesn't. I think he's just very European, and you know, nudity is not really that big a deal, and he's just getting ready for bed, and I think he's just very nonchalant about the whole I'm just taking my pants off and I don't see what the big deal is.
Almost shaking up and down his head, which means that in Egypt it's the same thing, I guess.
You forget I was born in Sweden.
That's true.
Oh
I forgot.
my God!
Yes.
Oh,
We all know about the Swedes.
But it's true though. It's European.
Yeah.
Right on,
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. The iceberg.
It's not a problem.
They're all icebergs up there, you know.
Oh yeah.
Oh jeez.
Can I just throw something in for everybody? And this is tying in with the toothpaste. I worked with two great stage managers. I was assistant to two really great stage managers. And a rule I learned: whenever you're using props, when you're filling a glass of water, it's 1/3, and when you're using toothpaste, it's a tiny bit, because or when you're taking a cookie or eating, just do a little bit. The audience will buy it. The audience will buy it, and you will not get stuck with food in your mouth, toothpaste in your mouth. Those are just little things that I learned with these two great guys. One and one guy.
Yeah, can I say something with toothpaste?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. I think it's a matter of taste. But I mean, I think some people find it unappealing. It's not very like it might, you know, turn some people off. and you do such a great job in the scene. So you don't want to push them away with a small detail like that. So that was my point.
Okay, great.
Tomo, how do you feel about her as you're taking your pants off? I have no idea whether you slept together or not before. There's I couldn't pick up any clues, cues, or whatever. Have you been an intimate couple before?
Nope.
This is the first time
No.
you're in a bedroom taking your pants off with her.
Correct.
It's you work on that scene. You should be telling me more with your body. Like, talk to Omar. He's been in Sweden. He knows everything.
Oh my God, Omar.
Yeah.
Omar, when you guys started rehearsing in my living room, I have to tell a story on you, Omar. Omar walks into I'm sitting in a chair, walks over to me and he says, "I love older women." Whoa!
Yeah.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
That's
That
an
was supposed to
important
be a
thing.
secret.
He knows.
Omar, I'm old.
He knows how. He knows how to raise funds. Let me tell you, that's the way.
Raise a lot of other
He
things.
knows how to raise funds.
Watch what you say about Omar. His wife is watching.
He took a look at your apartment and that building. He said, "Mel, this is going to bankroll my movie. This is going to bankroll my movie." All right. So Mel, let's do that section again and see what.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, let's do that little section.
And I know I kid around a lot, but it is very important piece.
All
I
right.
got nothing about how you felt about her.
Okay.
All right.
I guess we'll take it from, and we have plans.
Okay.
And we had plans. We had plans for a home and a family, and I would remind him of that too.
He was obviously very attached to them.
If all else fails,
Get down on your knees and beg?
it's possible.
Now I can see it. There's the goddess standing next to Charlie in her negligee, and there are you on your knees begging. Poor Charlie. Tough decision.
You're gonna be sleeping on the floor, okay?
C'est la vie.
Merci.
Can I give Ashani something?
Welcome. That's great. Yeah, just one sec. Also, it's not just maybe Tomo, but it's also Ishani. What does she feel about when he starts to do that? What is her reaction? Just blasé, or is it kind of? Does she look away? Does she look closer? I mean, what is her reaction, or are we making too much?
It's an important piece of business, right?
It is something that I think has to be looked at a little bit. I mean, it's not a big thing. It's just something that didn't seem to, it didn't seem to add up. And they seem to be intimate, and they're not intimate. I thought the first time he did the scene, I thought they were obviously lovers having some kind of, argument. And
I like that last spit. That was very good. That was an exclamation mark spit. It was a great way to end the scene.
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing to Ishani?
Yeah.
Ishani,
Nicole,
when you look at him in his underwear, use a color to say you are sleeping on the floor. In other words, you're ordering him, you're not going to sleep in bed. When you look at him, because obviously it'll say something about your your relationship.
Great. Let's move on. Nicole, I didn't get a chance because it was a little early. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. So you brought something to rehearse, and I want you to have a chance to fall on your ass with us. What did you bring?
Okay, actually, I was a little like last minute. So I do have a monologue from the last days of Judas Iscariot.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Good.
So can you just give me 10 seconds?
I'll give you 15.
Thank you. Be right back.
Okay.
Thanks.
Great.
It's a very Groucho Marx line, Rob. I'll give you 15.
I'll give you 15.
I'll give you 15.
And the duck will fly down and give you $100. So
I'm going to take those 10 seconds. My son has dinner on the table. I'm at his house on Long Island. You are wonderful. Thank you for the best Christmas present I have had. What you guys did tonight. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you all, and I hope to see you in January. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mel.
We love you.
Thank you, Mel.
Thank you. So while we're getting ready for
We love you too,
Nicole,
Mildred.
I'd like to ask.
Thank you. I can use all I can get.
I'd like to ask Richard Bell. Are you there? There's somebody I see a square Richard Bell. I don't know who that is.
He's not.
I don't know who. I seen Jane Robertson. Hi, welcome, Jane.
Hi.
Happy holidays. And also Joseph
Happy
Bryan.
holidays, Roger.
Thank you, Jane. Joseph Bryan, are you there? I'm not sure who Joseph Bryan is, but welcome. Are you there, Joseph? Or somebody using Joseph Bryan's computer? I don't know who it is.
Hi, Roger. This is Brian from London.
Are you there, Joseph? Can
Hi,
we
it's
see?
Brian calling. I'm from England.
Oh my God, it's Brian from. Hi, mate. How are you?
How are you? How are you?
Very good. Lovely to.
I just thought I'd dip in and see what you're up to.
Well,
But
I'm up
it's
to. I'm up-
well past my bedtime now.
Oh, that's a lie, Brian. I know that's a lie. Even it's what time is it? What time is it in London?
1:21.
1:21 in the morning. All right. Well,
Yeah.
Nicole Garbellini, who's about to present something, is in Hong Kong, where it's now 20 after 8 a.m. So you guys are,
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Great to see you, Brian. Great to have you with us.
It's good. Yeah.
Nicole, are you ready?
Wish you a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, well, thank you, and to you, sir. I walk by your apartment on 65th Street every day. Now that I'm living on 65th,
Right.
Brian. Yeah.
You know,
Yep, I do.
you know that Donald Trump used to live in that apartment.
Well, I still think of you when I go by the apartment, not Mr. Trump. I think of you when I see it. Okay, Nicole, are you there? You give her 15 seconds. She takes.
Come on, Nicole.
Are you
No
there?
wonder, no wonder he moved to England
Are
with
you
Trump
ready?
living there.
Here we go. Are you there, Nicole? No? I think a full costume is going to be coming. I get a sense of that.
She's in wardrobe.
Where are you, Jane? Where are you now? In California?
Would you believe Wichita, Kansas, if you can believe that?
Yes, I can. The heart of the country. It's great.
Yeah, and it's a great place to write. Very few, but there's 5 theaters.
5 theaters in Wichita. Great.
Yes, and they're doing stuff with
wonderful.
distancing. Quite good quality, I must say.
Great.
Yes.
Nicole, when you're ready,
Yes.
we're ready. Thank you.
Okay. All right. You want to know what I really think, Mr. Pilot? I think this whole story about you hemming and hawing about what to do with Jesus is just a load of made up crap written by some Jewish Christian evangelist seeking to broaden the appeal of the Jesus story to the Roman Empire. There is nothing that we know about you, Mr. Pilate, absolutely nothing that suggests for even a second that you would have a passing hesitation about putting any Jew to death, let alone a revolutionary figure like Jesus, who was being proclaimed the Messiah, who had entered the city of Jerusalem to crowds of cheering supporters, and who had, the very next day, incited a riot at the temple. You hated your assignment. You hated Judea, and Mr. Pilate, you hated the Jews. Hated them. You hated them because they contested you. You hated them because they fought back. You hated them because they clung to their religious beliefs and they were willing to die for them. But most of all, Mr. Pilate, I think you hated them because you knew they were stronger than you. And that bothered you a great deal. I think, Mr. Pilate, it made you resentful and vengeful and furious. I think that made you feel small and inadequate. I think it gave you skin irritations and nervous tics. I think it kept you up all night, made you count the days until you could return to the safe, bourgeois comfort of Rome. That's what I think. I think you're hiding behind historical inaccuracies and outright lies, Mr. Pilate. I think that you're a liar and you're a fraud. I think when Jesus was put before you that day, you didn't see a God or a prophet. You didn't see a lunatic or an innocent. You didn't even see a human being. All you saw that morning before you, Mr. Pilate, was just another Jew. And you didn't hesitate. Why would you? You didn't wash your hands, Pontius Pilate. History did it for you. Isn't that right?
Bravo. Bravo, Nicole. This is a play you produced and directed, is it not?
I actually was in it. I produced and I played the part.
Wow. And who directed?
One of our directors, Brett Powers, directed that play.
Right, right. Could I try something just as a, really just to give it a shot?
Please.
Who's she talking to?
So she's talking to a jury. So
To the jury.
Yeah.
Could you
So
try
it's
take?
it's
could
setting
you-
up.
Yeah, yeah. Could you take it to us?
Yeah.
As the jury, as you speak, if you can,
Yeah.
as naturally and calmly as you can.
Okay. Sure.
Maybe not the whole thing through, just to try from the beginning. Whatever she's feeling,
Okay.
hold it back and make it as simple as you possibly can to them.
You want to know what I really think, Mr. Pilate? I think this old story about you hemming and hawing about what to do with Jesus is just a load of made-up crap written by some Jewish Christian evangelists seeking to broaden the appeal of the Jesus story to the Roman Empire. There is nothing that we know about you, Mr. Pilate. Absolutely nothing that suggests for even a second that you would have a passing hesitation about putting any Jew to death, let alone a revolutionary figure like Jesus, who was proclaimed the Messiah, who had entered the city of Jerusalem to crowds of cheering supporters, and who, the very next day, incited a riot at the temple.
Great, beautiful, beautiful, Nicole. Even simpler as you go forward from there, even simpler.
You hated your assignment. You hated Judea, and Mr. Pilate, you hated the Jews. Hated them. You hated them because they fought back. You hated them because they clung to their religious beliefs and they were willing to die for them. But most of all, I think you hated them because you knew they were stronger than you. And that bothered you a great deal. I think that made you revengeful and resentful and furious. I think it made you feel small and inadequate. I think it gave you skin irritations and nervous tics. I think it kept you out at night, making you count the days until you could return to the safe bourgeois comfort of Rome.
Bravo,
That's
bravo,
what-
Nicole, bravo, bravo. You know, she's, I guess as a character, she's a lawyer, right?
Yeah, that's right. So she's defending Judas Iscariot.
Right, and as lawyers, they never want to admit they're actors, but they're
Right.
they're great actors.
Yes.
The best of them are great actors, and they know that less is more with words that are as strong as those words. And you also have such great expression, and your emotions are right on the surface all the time, I think, and you don't need to work as hard to get the effect that I think you want. It also gives you, Nicole, more range, because then you can find a place where you do look at him and say something and heighten it.
Yeah.
And again, it's your own note about language. If you can find key words to accent while you're being very calm like that, it will heighten everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, do you know? And the voice can be very calm. Juries hate to be bombarded, you know? So if you can be more selective about where it builds, and that speech seems to have in the writing some natural builds, and then maybe you start again, very much like a symphony where it builds, it builds, it builds, and then you start again, something new, rather than the first time how good, it was wonderful, but it was more on one level, you know, as a way of working. Oh, it's bravo. And particularly because it's very scary, and I speak for myself, you know, to be an artistic director and then act in front of other actors. You're really opening yourself up, you know. It's you know, you really, you know, so I thank you. I thank you for you're very good, very talented.
Thank you.
And it's always hard, I think, for directors to try to do something with other actors that way.
Yeah, Nicole, can I just say something?
Yes.
The first time you did it, I was so impressed by the fact that you, the intensity, you kept the intensity. If you were a male actor, I'd say you kept that erection for the whole speech. No, you kept, I loved that, that you were able to do it.
Thank you.
And
it wasn't forced. I thought you meant it.
And with Eddie's note about an erection, I think we've come to the end of the year.
Did I close this session?
Yeah, I think with your note about an erection. I really want to thank everybody. You know, we haven't finished anything. We just take a little break and we go on. But I really want to thank everybody for a really great effort tonight, and also for the work you've put in over the last weeks and even months. So I look forward to 2021. Wow, it sounds really far away, but it's not. Right around the corner. Rest up, maybe get together, start on some Chekhov together, start looking and reading and writing, directing, and maybe, I mean, we have some special events. Maybe we'll do a whole Chekhov play as a reading together. Who knows? But I'd like to really see what we can do in terms of using this break to refresh ourselves and our energy, but also start doing more than just thinking. Start to work on some things and have some of that ready to bring in. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas to all. And, you know, thanks so much for being with us on this little journey. Okay.
Find some mistletoe, Roger.
Happy holidays, Happy New Year.
Happy holidays, everyone. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy holidays.
Christmas,
Next
happy New
year.
Year, everybody.
Happy holidays.
You guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole.
Back to sleep now.